Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day two of VCT Game Changers APAC Open 4 playoffs. I'm Zach, and with me here is, hey, I'm Quack, as I like to say it. So, how are you doing, Quack?
I'm doing good. Wow, you actually know how I do my intros. Yeah, it's a good day, but it's also going to be a really intense day because the upcoming matches. Oh my god, I'm terrified because we're going to be taking a look at the calendar of events pretty soon, and this is now open four, meaning last chance for the top few teams to make their way and really cement their position going to VCT Game Changers APAC Elite.
Yep, that's exactly right. At Open 4, you'd think that by now the top two teams would have been decided, but only AECL has already qualified, and the other two slots are still under contention. Although I think we will be looking at the leaderboard pretty soon, but whoever, whichever three qualify, they'll get a direct pass to VCT Game Changers APAC Elite, and it's really important because otherwise you're going to be playing in overtime, and you might have to go to the last chance qualifier as well. So that's going to be a bit rough. And both these teams that are playing today, the first matchup, which is going to be Aresta versus SMG, both of them still have a chance to make it right from this open.
Yeah, but of course, there still is a bit of incentive for them. There is the prize pool, so just about 5,000 US dollars. First place gets 1,005, second 1,002, third 800, so on and so forth. But of course, the most important thing is that they are playing for those points, kind of like you mentioned. AECL, they're the ones with the highest points right now. And then following that, we've got some of the other teams, SMG, we've got Bren, we've got X10, who are not here, by the way, just to reiterate. So this is a very, very intense matchup because only the top three from the Opens will actually secure their spot in towards Elite. And right now, these are the teams that we have in our playoffs. Some of them will still be able to get some points. Some of them are playing for prize money. But we're here to look at the top few teams, and that's the one that I'm most afraid about, Zach.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you have something like the qualification slot in play, you really want to do your best. And Aresta and especially SMG, both of these teams are still in contention. So extant credit. If they had made it to the playoffs, they would have probably locked in their slot as well. But
Yeah.
they got kicked out by those Shreds who we saw in action yesterday. I think we will see them again today as well in their elimination match in their lower bracket. But
Hmm.
man, it must be just so harrowing for Exeter. Like it's one thing when you have to play and qualify, but it's another thing when you don't even have a shot to play, and you just have to like wait and see. Oh no, will these teams win or lose? And today it's going to be everything on the line for Aresta and SMG here, which is going to be our first matchup. Now these two teams have faced off only one time before. It's been an APAC Open 2, and I think it was the upper bracket semifinal where SMG 2-0'd Aresta. So definitely Aresta, they're looking for a little bit of revenge today because if they win, they will not only move on, but they'll also get to kick SMG out of the tournament.
Exactly. That's why I'm terrified. Thank you for pointing that out because now lower brackets, Aresta SMG, the first elimination of of Open 4, really. And like you said, yeah, if we take a look at the leaderboard pretty soon, we've got Aresta SMG and then Thirst Red and Orangutan also. But then following that, Alter Ego Celeste, Brand Victress, and the other teams as well. But here it is. Okay, leaderboard. SMG currently in fourth place. Aresta currently sixth. These numbers are really close, meaning if Aresta actually makes it to like top three, for example,
Mhm.
they actually move their way up. Might be able to make it into the top three. I don't really think so. Hang on a second. Let me actually like crunch some numbers. I gotta do some of my calculations, and
I can
yeah,
hear the crunching.
what it actually
Crunch.
really is that if SMG loses and Aresta makes it even further, SMG will no longer be able to stand a chance at making it to top three, which is like the most harrowing thing ever. I'm terrified.
I mean, they're definitely fired up to make it, and of course, if you do look at their performance, both in this playoffs as well as in their previous match against again yesterday, it was really really close. Like it was, they didn't give Red Esports a very easy time. Sure, they
That's
did
true.
get beaten, but they were like beaten if that makes any sense. So definitely they will be looking to bring it back and take it forward, and I think they will have a lot of supporters as well. But Aresta, when you're playing against the reigning queens of APAC, you think some people would just probably like give up, but it's going to be. Let's take a look at their roster. This is the team that gave ACL a run for their money yesterday on Icebox, and in fact, I think they were fairly close to bringing it to like an overtime. Icebox was a bit hard for ACL, and although they did get 2-0, they would probably be more fired up from the loss today, looking at the way these girls play. And this is what I'm wondering: will Yuki bring in her trademark Reina today as well?
Possibly, right? I mean, she definitely did pick it yesterday and did fairly well against Alter Ego Celeste of all teams. So if you're bringing that confidence into today, you might just be able to do some damage to SMG, right? That's what we're looking for. But at the same time, just interestingly enough, one of the team members from SMG actually, they used to play with Aresta last year under the brand name Araket Aresta. She left, so they dropped the Araket. It's now just Aresta, and that's something that's kind of interesting because Yoki might actually be able to provide some information to her teammates and some insights to how Aresta might play. But another thing that I just love so much about our entire VCT Game Changers APAC scene, our FSL scene, is that all these teams are constantly trying to improve, constantly trying to compete and put themselves up ahead and up against Alter Ego Celeste. So the fact that SMG versus Bren was that close, I think, is one indication of that. The fact that Aresta made it that close against Alter Ego Celeste is another indication of that as well, which is why this matchup, although honestly, as a Singaporean caster, SMG, some of them are Singaporean as well, I gotta put my money on these girls. But that said, I am still scared because I legitimately do think that Aresta does have a chance at taking this home.
That is definitely true, and of course we did see SMG in action today. I think when Kohibi and Envious get going, it's danger signals all around. You really want to get out of the way. The reason I think SMG, the fact that they're so high on the leaderboard, it could be attributed to not just the rest of the team, which of course are fantastic, but mainly these two. Like I think SMG. They placed last qualifier. They did place third place. In fact, that's completely because of Envious and one of her 1v4 clutches in overtime. Like those are the things that really, really not only break your opponent's mental, it also gives like the confidence needed for you to take it forward. So again, Envious is one of those players you really, really don't want to put in those tight corners because you have no idea what she's gonna pull out there. Whatever she's playing, probably the Blade Storm. Let's face it.
Yeah,
but probably. But yeah, definitely a team to watch out for. And with so much on the line for both these teams, it's definitely gonna be a really interesting matchup. And I'm kind of curious to see what kind of map picks we're gonna be seeing in from these girls because I think we did see some Icebox yesterday, and I'm interested to see if they're gonna be doing that today as well. But I think the map picks, we are gonna be heading into it right now. So let's see what maps we are going into. We're starting off on Ascent here, which was chosen by Team SMG. So this is one of those maps which I think they're very, very, very strong on, and I think they've played it just about 60 times, I think, in their lives, and they have like a very decent win rate on it too. I would say 65% overall, and they've run a variety of comps, so definitely very flexible. And if they've done enough research, they might be able to. Keep their winning streak going against Aresta.
For sure, but I do want to point out that these map picks are something that I think kind of work out for both teams. If we do go into split, that will be something that's a little bit more interesting because I'm not sure how that will play out. But Ascent SMG, that just makes sense. Aresta on Icebox, that also makes sense considering how well they played against Alter Ego Celeste yesterday. So I could see this going either way. But just to provide, some insider info, I did actually get an invite to check out the SMG girls and how they scrim and practice at their facility. Thank you very much, SMG team manager. They actually have been practicing a lot of Ascent. I do think that we will see them play this map a lot more in this open. And more interestingly enough, with Envious on the Omen, because they've been practicing with their coach. They've been trying out a lot of different things, some really coordinated plays, which I'm not sure if Aresta will actually expect. So I think Icebox is one of the maps that we will have to look out for. If Aresta does not win on their own map pick, SMG is probably going to make it forward.
That's definitely true because Ascent, I'm sure SMG does have some insane stats in play, and Aresta, well, it's not one of their worst maps, but it's not one of their best either. They do have a decent win percentage, but they haven't played it nearly as much as they've played some of their other maps, I would say. It is definitely in their top three, though, so I
Hmm.
think Split is in their top three as well, so both of these maps are good for Aresta because they've gotten quite a bit of practice on it, so we can't count them out just yet, and
Absolutely.
the thing is, if they do, even if they lose at Icebox, and sorry, if they do lose at Ascent, and we do go to Icebox, we saw how strong they were yesterday. So definitely, it's gonna be a bit rough for SMG on Icebox, I would say. If they do
Hmm.
take game one, all well and good. But game two, it's Icebox is not a map that's really in their top picks. They usually prefer Bind or Ascent. Those are like 50 plus picks for them. So definitely, they would want to head into. They would want to keep it from going to Split because unless they do have a lot of practice on it, which they might have been working on, it's gonna be a
That
bit rough.
that's right. So it does come down to, I mean, at least for the teams, the first map is, I think, one that's going to be very important. If Aresta takes Ascent, this we could actually see a 2-0. So that's why I'm still really, really terrified. I'm actually shaking a little bit. More interesting enough, I think we could actually point out some of the players because, yeah, I think Kohibi's already made her a name for herself, right? High DPI, high sensitivity player, still able to perform so well, and she's got one of the craziest fragging mechanics of her team. Envious is another one of those. But if we take a look at Aresta, just to shine the spotlight on them a little bit, yesterday, Nuki's performance was actually pretty decent. Like, she did really well, especially if you consider the fact that they were playing against Alter Ego Celeste, consistently putting numbers of an average kill death of, like, maybe, I don't know, 18, 14, around that number. If we take a look at the overall statistics, top frag of the entire team, all the players within Open 4 right now, of course, it's going to be Inari. She's got the highest average combat score of 377. Right, that's a given. Guess who's number two? Actually, take a quick, just random guess, Zach.
I'm gonna throw it out of the air and say it's Kohibi.
You're wrong. It's not Kohibi. It's
Oh
actually Nuki
no!
from Aresta. That's the thing, right?
Oh
You would
wow, okay.
expect Kohibi to be somewhere on top, but no, Kohibi's actually not really in the top 10 even. I mean, it's still
Oh
early
wow,
because we've
alright.
only had one day of opens, They played against Bren, they lost 1-2. It is what it is. They'll be learning from that, but this one, the fact that Nuki is actually top 2 right now, I think they would stand a chance if they can actually support Nuki to give her that space that she needs to make a lot more plays to frag out a lot better. And if she can
Mhm.
actually take down disable players like Envious and Kohibi, SMG might be in a tricky spot.
Definitely, and it also comes down to who's starting off on attack and defense. So if you do look at the picks for today, which is it's going to be SMG who is starting off on attack here. So if Aresta can keep their attack scoreline to a minimum on attack, as Aresta is definitely going to have a great time because they always do run that extremely strong double duelist combo. I don't think I've ever seen them not run double duelist. Like if you look at the history of how they played Ascent, they played every single combination of duelists, at least when it comes to a mix of a Reyna, Raze, and Phoenix. Like you even see Phoenix. So anyway, my point here is that if they can keep the score from getting really really awkward and the margin from getting high, they definitely do have a chance on attack. We saw that yesterday because even though Haven didn't exactly go that way, when they did get to attack, they were able to start mounting a comeback against AECO. But unfortunately for them, I think it was like 11-1 or something half. So there were just too many rounds deficit that they had to make up, and there's no room for them to make mistakes. So that's a little rough for them. But if they can, keep the situation from spiraling in the same way today, they definitely have a shot on Ascent.
Absolutely. So again, it just comes down to how well they really play because it's a very interesting. I say interesting, but I also kind of want to say classic. Let's call it classic. Classic agent composition of having that double duelist. I think these days we start to see more teams head towards double initiator, maybe even double sentinel. If you, I don't know, Chamber's basically a duelist these days, right? So it's kind of interesting to me with the fact that Nuki would still go in for that Reyna pick, but she makes it work. So if it works, it works. I'm not gonna throw any shade or anything. Um, that said, though, you do have to perform. You do have to come online as a team, as a player, because Reyna is that sort of feast or famine pick. If you don't frag out, if you just throw out Leers every now and then, but you don't actually get any kills, it's a little bit tougher for you to provide value to your team. So my eyes are going to be on Nuki, to say the least.
Definitely, like you mentioned, if you don't get a kill, Reina is basically useless. Like, sure, you have those lures, but those are broken. There are way better flashers out there. The fact is, you need the Reina to be activated. You need her to really, really pop off there. And Nuki, she started late yesterday, but if she is dialed in, ready to slay, as people say it from map number one, SMG is in for a world of trouble there. So definitely excited to. I'm also going to be really excited to see how Nuki is doing. Though on the side of SMG, I'm wondering what kind of team comp we'll be seeing in from these girls because their ascent there's always like a little bit of changes going around there. But again, this is another team that likes running double duelists. Like I think you usually see a Raze and a Jet or a Reyna and a Jet here coming in from this team. And I think they even ran Viper once. So definitely it's going to be interesting to see what kind of composition they're bringing to the board because I was going through the list of all the compositions they've run. They've run basically everything: double Sentinel, double Initiator, double Controller, you name it, they've got it. So
They're
it's going to be
experimenting a little bit, and I
yeah,
think
I
they
like
can do
that.
that.
I
It's
love
it's
that.
that's the thing about being in FSL, being in Game Changers APAC. You need to constantly innovate. You need to be able to change things up so that you can stay on top. And I think this is something that TSM FTX's, well, for the female team, coach Redco, he's a Singaporean player as well. He kind of commented on the fact that a lot of our APAC teams, they do need to try out to these different things to catch up and just to keep themselves on top. Because if you go with more comfort picks, sometimes other teams will find new ways to work against that. You might get counter stratted, and that is exactly why I love to see this from SMG. You talked about them going for that double duelist. Yes, we do normally see Envious on the Jet. This time, they've gone for the exact same agent composition that they had yesterday against Bren Esports Victress, on which they played a set. They went 13-11. SMG might have lost, but still, that's a really, really close score. If they can actually find a way to play a lot tighter to make this composition work, I think it's going to be an incredible showing.
I agree with you. And yesterday, I think one of the major
Select
issues
your
they
agent.
had was being able to mount a coordinated attack and defense. So, like you mentioned, they
Mm.
need to patch up those holes a bit and play off each other a bit better. That's going to be SMG probably taking this map. But on the other side, we do have the double duelist of Nuki and Noxy. That's
Yes.
also nice to say. And yeah, it's going to be the Reyna and the Raze coming in. Apart from that, you do have the usual initiators, controllers. But I'm really going to be focused on these two because both of these duelists, at least Raze gives you a little bit of mobility, but it's gonna be a little bit rough entering, off of just these two. And you don't have a KO or a Sky or even a Breach either, so you only
Mm.
have the Leers, and of course you do have the Paranoia. But it's gonna make it's gonna make getting into the site a little bit harder, especially on a map like Ascent. So definitely interested to see how it's gonna go for both these teams, and of course. I'm just excited to see how Kawhi on the race is going to be because I wasn't able to really catch that map yesterday. I had to go watch the VOD. But honestly, one of my favorite things to see is Kawhi on the race. So definitely very, very excited to watch that.
For sure. Right? I think just to put things in some, to provide some context to how Kohibi performed on the Rays yesterday, 18 kills, 17 deaths, 3 assists, not too bad. The thing that I want to look out for is your first kills and how well you can actually do your job as a duelist to create that space for your team. Although I think the numbers are actually not 100% accurate. She got 2 first kills yesterday. Maybe not the highest number, but I think that's also due to the fact that SMG are trying out different things. A lot of these first kills now comes in the form of Envious, actually, because she's that catalyst for her team. If you look back at those VODs, you'll notice they are trying to go for that coordinated set play, set execute. And a lot of those things start out with Envious's paranoia because she's on an Omen, right? You want to send that out, block off a huge amount of space and kind of allow for your team to push in together, make sure that it's safe. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And again, that's attributed to the fact that, yeah, maybe it's not as tight as it needs to be. Sometimes there are these minor differences in terms of timings, and someone might be faster. Sometimes there could be like a nanostorm or something that kind of separates the team from the entire pack. And things like that kind of hurt them. So they're going to have to fine tune that a little bit in this map if they want to take it home.
I agree with you. Their timings were the major issue yesterday, and I think at least two of the rounds that was it was one of the players being isolated from the rest of the team, and that was a free
Hmm.
pick, and that immediately devolved into a 4v5, and it made things much more rough on the side of SMG. So I mean, I'm sure that this is a team that went back to the drawing board. And I can basically see them being improvise, adapt, overcome, and they've definitely probably already overcome their issues yesterday. At least I believe that because SMG is a team that they really put in the work from what I've noticed,
They
not
do.
just in this open, but previous opens as well. So definitely, I think that they would have probably worked on those timings. But we are going to be heading into the game, and from us at least for a few seconds, and let's see how this goes. Will SMG manage to continue their winning streak against Aresta, or will Aresta have some surprises for us?
That's right, SMG, top 3 team. We expect them to be in there. They're starting things out on the attacking side with Aresta on the defense as we step into the arena already, going aggressively in towards B. Some presence towards the middle.
There's some presence. And looking at the map here, it seems like they are going to be going for a very, very fast speed hit through mid. There is that nade coming in, but it's not going to be really doing much damage. Paranoia from NVS is going to catch really nobody there as a recon bolt will give away the position of at least one player. And oh, that shot from Noxy is going to take NVS down. That's a spike dropped as well, so that's going to call in the rotation. The rest of the cavalry is coming. Shotgun will finally take her out.
Oh my god.
And Herefordite both get kills and go down, and it's going to be an extremely fast round, extremely quick first round on the board for Aresta here.
Absolutely. Like, no chance, no breathing room to even try to gain control over the site, to even get the spike down. I mean, as soon as they streamed in, you saw the Paranoia coming out from Market. There was a really interesting Nanostorm placement right around the top of stairs, and I think that blocked off SMG's approach, and at the same time allowed for Noxy to land those 2 beautiful headshots, just completely holding down the site all the way from Boathouse. This is going to be tough for SMG to break through.
It is, and I think that is going to be a full eco right now for SMG here. Nade, oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh no, that's an awkward death for Herefordite.
Feels bad.
She's gonna go down to the fridge. It feels really bad. I've been there before. It's not very nice. Meanwhile, though, the alarm bot is gonna give away that there's at least a player or two coming up towards short here. That means that if there's odds are it's going to be an execute. And look at the positioning of these players from the side of Aresta. They are so patient, and their crossfire is almost immaculate. Like, it's going to be Rosie who's playing behind Jen, and that turret is going to give information if anybody comes up short. And of course, the Omen is there to back it up if anybody comes to your main. Bluebeats is just waiting. The knife will give away the information here, and will put that turret out of action. There are 2 players on these side, but the weapon advantage might be too much for them to deal with right now.
Well, SMG is still going to go forward, though, and trying to do whatever damage they can, but unfortunately it's not going to last for long, especially with Noxy coming in from the back, especially with Rudy's just holding down the fort from the front. So that is that perfect 2-0 start. Not too much damage sustained. They will be able to buy back into this 3rd bonus round.
Yep, it is only going to be Rosie who falls, I think, to NVS's frenzy. This is going to be the fullback coming in, though, for SMG here. Oh no, we're looking at that really, really sad kill.
Thank you, Observer!
Thank you for that. Yes, it was a really good catch. It was really, really sad to watch. But looking at the ultimates available, Noxy with those 3 kills is fairly close to a showstopper here. So if she can get 1 or 2 more kills, it might be the out needed to capitalize on this bonus round here. Again, she catches side of it with Herefordite. She's gonna get the headshot onto Noxy. Location will be spotted, but she's gonna just fall away, making sure that in case anybody is pushing up, she's not gonna be caught off guard. And meantime, the rest of the team is heading up towards a short here.
Yeah, going in along with the drone, and Rudy's definitely hears this, so she's just positioning herself to set up her teammate to go in for that trade. Unfortunately, though, Kohibi trades right back, and that means Rudy's is alone on the site. She's going to have to do whatever she can, and that's only going to be 1 frag. Herefordite on the lurk now, and that's even more damage. As Zangi, the last one left alive, coming in from trees. 1v2 situation, Zach. I don't know how she's going to be able to do this. Doesn't even matter because Kohibi's just going to watch down the angle and spray forward anyway. So SMG 1-2 now.
Around that they did win with the advanced weapons, but the issue is 3 of their players they were lost in that battle, and that means it's going to be a little bit more difficult to buy back. They might have to compromise on the utility or on armor here if they do want to go in for those rifles yet again. But you know, the ultimates have been they haven't really worked on, I would say. Kira Freddy is just one away from that lockdown. It makes taking the B side pretty easy here. Noxy as well, obnoxiously close to that showstopper. So looking at where the side of SMG wants to go this time, it seems like they just want to opt in for a sort of default here as they try to see if any of the players from Aresta are going to give away their position, slowly working their way up mid. That Boombot is going to clear out market for them, and if anybody's playing there, it's going to give the information as well. And the alarm bot though will spot out one of the players, if not both, so that's going to trigger in reinforcements coming in towards spawn.
It certainly is slowly setting up for that. You can already see Aresta moving up, just trying to go for those reinforcement plays, but SMG continuing forward with their market play instead. They're going to have to smoke off spawn, though, and they're going to try to deny that space with the paint shells at the very least, but the players are still very much aware of this, and that's going to be a lot of damage as SMG tries to make the cross. One player already down. They will be able to plant the spike, but will they be able to hold down the site, Zach?
It remains to be seen because it is going to be a 4v5 retake, advantage slightly towards Aresta here. Never mind, Envious is making a count. It's going to be just 1v2. Pixie versus Isneki and Rudy. She has to win this clutch to make sure that they do get the round here. Her position might be known as well. The smoke coming through is going to really help there. Spike planted as well, and oh no, she's not spotted out, but Rudy's is there for the kill. It looks so scary there for a second for the side of Aresta, but they do manage to get the defuse, and that's going to be 3-1. Aresta taking a little bit of a lead here, and that round was really good coming in from both these teams, especially the fact that Aresta, they managed to get a kill, but also stay alive to manage that for 5v4 retake, almost impeccably.
Yeah, like I said, right, the cross was just a little bit dangerous for SMG. They're going in for this mid-control sort of play, but that spends quite the number of dark covers coming in from Envious. And mind you, as an Omen, you're going to have to wait like 30 seconds for your third smoke to come up. So you really have to think twice about how you want to spend your first two. And right now, Aresta, knowing that SMG are on an eco, they want to go offensive. Look at how they're pushing out of middle right now with the showstopper as well. Connects on towards Envious, and that's already one player gone.
That was really fast there. Miyuki spotted as well. A beautiful headshot from Kara Freddy. He was going to take her down, but the judge is too strong when you're that close. And it's going to be Rosie who's pushing out, in fact, trying to see if they can do more damage here. Noxy having picked up that rifle as well. It's going to be a 4v3 right now. Only 3 sheriffs left on the board for the side of SMG here, but they do have 2 ultimates that are very close to fruition. Both Fixie as well as Kohaibi, just one away from the Hunter's Fury and the Showstopper. It's going to be Isneki, though, who has to take this first fight here. We'll get the headshot onto Kohaibi, a little bit of a wall back, but Yoki gets a beautiful clean headshot. And with that, the spike should at least go down, giving them a little bit of more money to work with, if nothing else.
If nothing else, you do need that money. It's not going to be easy to continue forward if you don't have that moolah. And with all the paint shells coming in, you definitely won't be able to survive. So hopefully now that the spike has been planted, you get to pick up some wads of cash and wipe your tears away. And that's what SMG will have to do moving forward.
It looked really sad for Yoki because I wasn't sure where she was going to die from. Was it from the paint shells? Was it from the 2 players staring at her? Or was it from the turret? Because she took a lot of damage from those paint shells. Either way, though, the recap of that round, the sheer aggression coming in. You didn't see 2 guns taken down, but the economy is still very healthy for the side of Team Aresta here. So this is the round that SMG really has to capitalize on. And, you know, even if they do need to work their way slowly, this fast execute doesn't seem to be working out for them so far. They're just too prepared for it, I would say. And ooh, we're gonna see Noxy on the op today, so definitely something very interesting to watch. I don't think I've ever seen a Raze really on the op before, but as long as she can hit those shots, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be the KO pops off right off the bat, immediately shutting down utility coming in. No more Killjoy turret, no more Nano Swarm. Even Alarm Bot is not going to be available. It's going to be a very quick execute into the site here. They also do have that lockdown if they want to buy even more time here. And yep, that is going to be her playing towards main here. 5v5 retake, and they have like almost no control here. Just some ultimates to work with.
And those ultimates are going to be enough, though, because take a look at that. Hunter's Fury already spent and 1 player gone. SMG with the lockdown will just be able to push them back by a little bit. They're still going to have about 25 seconds to push into site, and that's where things are going to get shaky. Trying to go on the offensive with the showstopper now, but she gets shut down, and all that's left is going to be Yoki as she swings out from B main, but not going to be able to find any joy as Zengi prevents her from coming back into sight. Aresta now, they've got just about, I think, 2 or 3 rounds in a row. 3 rounds in a row, in fact. This is a 5-1 scoreline, Zach. How can SMG come back from this?
It's definitely going to be a rough pass because I think with that round, they had invested a lot in it. They invested the showstopper, which didn't even matter because unfortunately for Kohaibi, she just got one-shotted. They invested the lockdown, they invested 3 ults, I think, total in that round. So definitely it's going to be really rough for them. And again, it's going to be a little bit of Nico. You do have that hero rifle on Kohaibi here. But apart from that, it's just going to be Spectres and Sheriffs. We've seen SMG do more with less before, but against Aresta, who seem to be in full form here, I'm not sure if that's a possibility. Again, the aggression coming in from the defenders here, it makes it really, really tough for SMG to get any kind of purchase. It is them just waiting for Aresta to make mistakes, at least for a few seconds, but so far Aresta look absolutely impeccable on this map. It's clear that they've put in the work. They put in the research, more importantly, to see who is playing where and what's going to be happening. I think they did watch yesterday's VODs because looking at it, they are totally capitalizing on it.
100%. I mean, if you just take a look at how they position themselves, they know exactly when to go aggressive and exactly when to play defensive. And right now, that's exactly what they're doing as they're getting all of this information. They know where the SMG players are heading. So all they really need to set up for that perfect retake scenario. Now goes the first domino. And pretty soon, I'm pretty sure, the remaining 4 as they are stuck on site.
It seems like Noxy already starting things off with a headshot on Kokaibi here. Overkill, I would say. NVS takes his Negi down, but the trades are coming through really quickly. It is going to be 3v1, all in the hands of Karen Fernandi. Only a Sheriff in hand. She hasn't been able to pick up any of those upgraded weapons. Does have the nanostorm to buy a little bit of time, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Gets 1! Oh, gets 2 3! Oh my god, Karen Fernandi with that clutch! How? I wish we could see that again because that was so precise coming in from her.
I mean, she's not called Clutch for Deity for no reason, Zach, and this is exactly what we love to see from SMG, the star power from some of these players. Even when all the odds are stacked against you, she can definitely surmount and surpass them just by those sheer magical moments. With 1 Sheriff, she takes down 3 players and 3 heads and puts SMG on the board again with 2-5.
That was the round they needed because that's going to not only break Aresta's momentum, it's also going to give them a little bit of, I would say, mental boost there because it was a round that nobody expected to win. Lisa Ball, except for Karen Freddy, I suppose, after that clutch. But definitely 5-2, definitely looking much more doable than 6-1. And they're on track here because with that, their economy is also going to be reset. In fact, you're going to see Nuki and Rudy's both going in for lesser buys than a rifle here. It is going to be NBS who gets spotted out. The smoke will come through on time and she is going to be able to fall back safely. So far, it seems like the Spike, they want to go towards the B side, but because that mid control was aborted there, it's going to make things a little bit more rough. The turret though gets taken down, and of course there's just one nanostorm on site that they have to deal with. So it seems like they still want to go B. I think they're just waiting for the they just want the refresh on the smokes, I think, before they head in.
Certainly going to have to block off market at the very least, considering the fact that Rosie is the only one here. But SMG doesn't really know, and that's why they're taking their time. But now going off with Kohaibi's double satchel, they will be able to take the site down. This is going to set up for a big 5v5 retake. And if Aresta doesn't have a coordinated push, this could be trouble. Rosie does have the lockdown, though.
Yeah, I was gonna point it out. They do have that lockdown to work with, so even if they put it from CT, or if they can get a little bit more in, they might be able to even put it near the switch, which is gonna basically cover the entire site. In the meantime, though, they only have to deal with one player who has made Noxy absolutely wrecking havoc, gets the showstopper online, but NBS is able to take her down. It's going to be just it's just gonna be the Silva left alone, and these retakes from Aresta are so good here. They didn't even have to use the lockdown. I think it was just a really, really quick couple of headshots coming in from Noxy there. And I think this is the second time a raise has been shut down whenever they pull out a showstopper. First it was Kohaibi, and now it's Noxy. A little bit unfortunate there, but I think with that it's going to be. I think that the side of SMG can still buy in. We are going to see a little bit of a timeout come in as they evaluate how exactly they can do better and get some more rounds on the board.
And I think that's just a tough thing. I mean, Noxie, wow, who would have thought? With 12 frags, 6 deaths, and 3 assists right now, she's the one who's been opening up so much space, so much areas for her team, especially in that retake. You could see how it goes down just with the fact that she goes in with that double satchel straight into Canoe, finds a couple more headshots with the first trade, and then the next one on towards lane. I mean, this girl was top fragging yesterday as Chamber on Icebox, 21, 16, and 0. If this continues on and SMG doesn't find a solution to this right now in their timeout, they're going to be in for a world of hurt because this is their map pick. They definitely need to win this because if not, and we go into Icebox, Noxie on her Chamber, that is devastating.
That's a really good word to use there because if they don't win this and they do lose Icebox, they don't have a second chance, right? This is the lower bracket, so if they want to, keep their spot in the top 3 and possibly make playoffs, they want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So it seems like they are ready to go. They have had some discussion. You do have that hero rifle on Careford ID, but the rest of them are going to be Stefan pistols. It seems like again they want to go towards a quick mid push here. The read coming in from the side of Aresta is so good here. They're letting them take mid so that they can hold sites, or vice versa. They are really playing this well, and it shows the amount of research that's gone in.
They're so comfortable right now. They're just letting SMG try things. As soon as a bit of info gets picked up, Aresta moves in for the kill. Noxie getting the first blood yet again. And now with 3 players left, SMG are stuck. They are trapped up over by mid and B main. Look at this, Zach. Oh no! Kohibi, though, might just be able to do something with her ghost. But what more can she do? Paint shells, 1 frag, and Aresta already know how to work with this.
I really like that play coming in from Noxie. She sees the paint shells, she doesn't run away from it. She takes the damage while also throwing in her own paint shells to push the players off the angle. Like, that is some high-level play coming in from her. And of course, they managed to capitalize on it and close it out. I think only 1 player from them went down, and it's going to be 7-2, an almost overwhelming lead here for the side of Aresta, doing fantastically. To be fair, this is their defense, and it's a sense, so perhaps SMG might be able to get some more rounds on defense here, but you never know. That's going to be, it seems like a very quick B push coming in. Ultimate from KO immediately shutting down everything that's happening. The null command making no turret, nothing else available. And the B side, again, they're playing on full retake here. They're so confident in their ability to retake that they're just letting it go. This time, though, there is that Sova ultimate to work with, which can make a great deal of difference here. And Mia's taking the first fight here. Team plays away, still takes a little bit of damage, but oh no, she's gonna be stuck in the crosshair of Rosie there.
Yeah, I think Fixkey's going to want to hold on to her Hunter in case Rosie deploys her lockdown, so they're going to be playing very defensively onto site in this situation right now, but at the same time, this allows for Aresta to go on the offensive, and Noxie doing just that. Tries to take down the lockdown, unfortunately to no avail. 1 player detained, and now that the timer has passed, they're going to be continuing to push up front. Gonna have to deal with B main first, though.
Oh no. They didn't manage that. It's still Yoki there. It is Rudy's watching, though. Pixie getting a kill. The timer is ticking out. Even if they do get these kills, I don't think they'll have time to defuse here. Kohibi holding down the fort in this 1v1, and Rudy's might just choose to get that kill and possibly save. Yep, she makes it just in time with that teleport from her. And again, another round coming in for SMG finally, but again at the cost of, I think, 2 ultimates that they committed, the null command and the lockdown. It's definitely a round that they needed. It's worth managing to do that, but it's extremely expensive. They lost all their rifles. It's going to be the economy in a bit of a rough state yet again, and of course, the ultimates are no longer available either.
Yeah, I think they still have, Fixkey's Hunter and now Kohibi's Showstopper. Maybe not the best, but you still have to give credit because these executes work for SMG. They've been practicing them, and sometimes when they are actually able to go in with that coordination, it comes out beautifully. At the same time, though, Yoki holding up by B main earlier was just such a phenomenal play. This time around, however, the B split going in once more, but B main not really under SMG's control right now. This is something that they're going to have to work with as Zenki hides all the way in the back of Boathouse. Kohibi goes on forward and just takes it down, but look at what's happening over by B main, Zach. Oh, I don't like this.
Oh no. So Ivy left in a really awkward position. 1v3, Spike not in her control, and surrounded on all sides by the enemy here. She is behind enemy lines, but she doesn't have her cargo that she needs. And she has to somehow clutch this out. 51 HP left. Does have time at least, but that turret is going to give information away. Noxie's going to swing off of it, and it's going to be the 3rd kill for her and the 8th round for Aresta. The push from Noxie there was so good because even though she got tagged by the drone, she didn't fall back. She chose to instead, wait until it wore off, maintain control, and catch the players of SMG completely off guard as they went in.
I think that's the keyword right there. Catch. And that's exactly what Aresta are doing. I mean, they're kind of like fishermen right now if you take a look at how they're playing. It's just hiding back, chilling in their boat. They throw out the bait, they throw out the fishing line. As soon as they catch a little bit of something, that's when they know, all right, it's time to pull on that string. It's time to reel it in. And Noxie's doing something different this time around as she goes in with a big explosion, finds the first one, but pushes them back and buys up so much time. The second ultimate coming in now in the form of Zengi's Harness Fury does quite a bit of damage as well. Only 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and keep in mind, 8-3, this is the last round of the first half.
It's looking really rough right now, especially the fact that care fertility is so low, and they do have 2 players only on those shares here. Pixie going down towards mid as well. That's where the Reyna comes in, right? You just managed to get that overheal off. Yep, she gets 1, she gets 2, and I think Yoki will manage to get 1 and stay safe, but it's still 2v3 right now. Both players still stuck on shares here. The knife will be destroyed as well. Ivy has gotten the runaround though, and oh no, he peeks into Rudy's and will go down. It's going to be just Yoki left in a 1v2. Kind of doable here. She does manage to pick up that upgrade, so is also looking fairly healthy, going towards ace side. And ace side is clear, but the spike is not in her clutch.
And that's the worst case scenario. Like we were talking about. Aresta fully in control. The bait is down. It's on the ground. It's right over by mid link. Yoki knows it, but as soon as she makes a single move, the anglerfish, Nuki, comes back into it, finds that headshot, ends it off with a triple kill, and with a scoreline of 9-3, Zach. Tell me, does that look good or not? Coming in from the first half, this is... I see your head shaking. Yeah, it's kind of terrifying for SMG right now.
I would be terrified too, because not only are they at a 9-3 scoreline, that is 3-9 for SMG, they also have to deal with Noxie and Nuki today. Yesterday, it seemed like Noxie wasn't exactly treated as Nuki, but today, man, she is in form, and I feel really, really, I feel really bad for them because they have to deal with this dynamic duelist duo while also keeping their mental in the game and trying to bring it back.
Oh, well, I think we might have lost Zach for a second, but you can see what she's trying to go on with. Yeah, the dynamic duo. They are so good, aren't they? And on the other hand, we might expect to see a little bit more from SMG, but it's just not really coming online yet. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more in the second half, but you definitely do have to give credit to how Aresta has been playing thus far.
They've been playing this so well, and it seems like an entirely different team from what we saw yesterday. I'll be honest. Yesterday it was like, I think it was 13-4 or 13-5 the first game which they lost. And the second game, while it was a bit better, it was still rough. And again, today it's a completely different team. It's like yesterday was their deathmatch warm-up, and today they're in the actual game. They want to make the lower bracket run all the way, and it seems like they're cued in to do it.
It really does look that way. They are primed to take this map, Zach. I'm honestly really scared for SMG, but also really happy for Aresta because this competition is what keeps some teams on their toes. Like SMG, they can't really relax anymore. They're going to have to pull out all the stops. Whatever strats you have in your bank, pull it out. You're going to have to deploy it. You're going to have to show that you're not going to lose to a team like Aresta. But at the same time, they might, because it's a 9-3. This pistol round is so paramount. They lose it 10-3. That's probably going to be 11-3 as well. And if you don't, continue to pull up your socks after that fact, this is very possibly going to be that first map, their own map pick, by the way, lost and given to Aresta.
It's looking really rough. Like you mentioned, it's gonna hinge upon this pistol because that has to be the beginning of this comeback here. And it seems like so far the side of Team Aresta, they are going to be heading towards that B side. I really like this commitment coming in towards the B side here. Never mind, it's like they overheard me and they're just gonna default for a bit. But either way, it seems like both these teams have like worked on their B takes and retakes, and let's see if SMG can manage the same level of precision that we've seen from Aresta so far. And we are going to be heading into round number 13 finally. Again, going in for a little bit of mid control. Killjoy is going to be watching B, but it's a very similar take to what we saw from SMG in the first round. Both the boombots have an awkward little moment there towards mid. A little bit of a collision.
Just a bit. But like you said, right, it definitely looks similar. But the one difference is that there isn't really a player positioned up over by stairs. In fact, it's just SMG going in for that aim tool up over by market. 2 players down. And Aresta, they're going to have to find a different option.
I mean, Rudy's is the start of that. She takes down a player towards A, so I think the spike is going to be rotating right now. A side is open as well. She manages to clear it out, and yep, that's the spike that should be going down very shortly. In the meantime, it seems like there's going to be a coordinated B push coming in from the side of SMG here.
Ooh.
3 players, and oh no, the timing might be so bad for Rosie there, but lucky for her, she manages to take on one of these, but gets caught off guard by the trio coming in from B main. 2v3 right now, and the spike has been planted, the retake is on, and it seems like there's quite a bit of utility available for the side of SMG to play with. But again, this
oh my god.
Oh, this is a beat grinder, but Pixie is able to clutch it out. And wow, the 3v2 really proving its disadvantages there for the side of Aresta.
Yeah, it's all about the rules of engagement, right? You got that winning ratio, you go in together as a team, a death squad. And Aresta, despite having 2 really sharp players, just not really going to be able to hold it down for long. And you have to kind of think about how they're actually going in for this, right? It's kind of a bit of a gambit to bank all your defenses into this one spot over by tree. And that could have been a bit of a misread. Maybe they were thinking that the push was coming in from A main instead. But that said, the damage was done. SMG, this is a great start for them. But they're going to have to stay alive. If they lose a lot more players in this round, that's not going to look too pretty on towards the next.
Yeah, it's gonna not only, help possibly prevent them from taking the bonus, it might also lead to them being able to do less damage to Aresta here. Aresta, in the meantime, they didn't get the plant, so we are gonna see some upgraded rifles, but a dirty shot from Noxy on Yoki, who peeks just a little bit too far, gets caught off guard. And again, the read coming in from the side of Aresta, from the side of Aresta here is so good. They expected the push from B main last time, and there's a player gonna be holding it. But Kohaibi, in the meantime, she takes down Isnegi towards A, and the spike is still in the control though of the Omen. Rudy still has it in her hand. I think they want to go and pick up that upgraded rifle sometime.
Definitely wanting to find something better than pistols, but still the Sheriff's doing quite a bit of damage. SMG are playing so far back, just waiting for them to push up front, and that does the trick. Rudy's the only one left, and jumping down from top mid gives up her position, allowing for K490 to find that easy headshot. So now 9-5, losing only 1 player in the round. That's not too bad. They should be able to buy back up, and hopefully, with the right positions, prevent Aresta from possibly winning the bonus round.
Yeah, they only lost 1 player, so that's still going to be 4 Spectres. And when you're in close combat, if you're playing in areas like the back of the boathouse or under heaven in A, or even the generator, for example, they can do a lot of damage. In fact, it's possibly easier to get a kill with them because you can just employ the old strategy of #red and gun to get some damage done. Yeah. Either way, though, it seems like Aresta, they want to go towards the A side this time. 4 players stacked up, 2 going towards short here. It's gonna be Yoki who does get that first. Has to get that first kill here. They're clearing it out very methodically. Nuki, though, she's gonna get that headshot. Extremely precise crosshair placement.
I know. Look at the entries coming in from Aresta right now. Perfect connection from the Paranoia, though, but it's only going to hold them for so long. Envious moving straight into its generator, picks up the Vandal, and now primed for even more damage.
She has that upgrade. Like you mentioned, Kohaibi from the back, she manages to get a kill too. It looks like the advantage is towards the side of SMG here because they still do have those Spectres and they also have a rifle in the hands of Envious. The rotation has come through as well, so A side looking more and more difficult to hit here. The right call here for for Aresta would probably be to get a rotation in, or at least cut noise and wait for a bit, which is what they're opting to do. 3 players though on this A side, it's gonna make getting in really, really rough for them, especially with the KG utility. But Kara490, she's gonna get the headshot to Isnegi. 2v4 right now, and it seems like the side of Aresta is just stuck.
Just pretty much trying to find whatever else they can. 20 seconds. And that dark cover is just blocking them off. They cannot make a single move. In fact, probably opting to save and potentially looking for some. I mean, it's kind of weird. We don't really want to call these an exit frag just because the spike's not really down yet, but it is what it is. And SMG, they've walked away with such an incredible win, and I gotta say, it's all thanks to Envious with the way that she anchored down the site.
Yeah, her kill on Nuki there was really important, and of course the backup from Kohibi, who manages the call from Envious must have been really good. She must have been like, yo, I need some backup, please peek right now, and Kohibi, she was there for it, and that's what pivoted the round in SMG's favor. Right now though, it's looking a little bit rough for Aresta because 9-3 is something very, very different from 9-6, and that lead is getting smaller and smaller second by second. They do have those rifles they managed to save from the last round, but the rest of the players, they're going to be stuck on sheriffs, and they don't really have much in the way of ultimates to work with either. So unless Rudy's and Rosie can get some action with those rifles, it's not looking too good right now.
And that's the thing. It's all about the defense. With the way that SMG are playing, rather similar to how Aresta was playing as well. So disciplined, just waiting for information. They might be able to pull off a bit of a comeback. Dark cover now in towards B main just blocks him off, but they might be looking to execute off of this. Nuki could just throw out the Leer to walk up front.
It's going to be Kohibi though, who does toss the faint shells out, and yep, it's going to be carefully picking off that and getting a kill, but the trades are really quick.
Nice.
Isn't Iggy and Yuki both getting 2 sheriff headshots, and Kohibi, she's still anchoring this down. But it's gonna be her spotted out though. So Rosie, she knows there's at least one player towards market, but I don't know if she knows where. Yep, she hears NVS, and NVS is able to take her down. Wow. In fact, running into her face with that vandal, and it's going to be 2v3 right now. Advantage still towards SMG, but at least the spike has been planted. And the thing is that he only has this sheriff to work with. Of course, sheriffs are nothing to scoff at. We didn't see those kills from B main coming in, but it's going to be some quick action coming in. All in the hands of Rudy. Does have the HP. The flash comes through, gets one, but is not able to connect the second headshot, and Kohibi is going to be able to get the defuse.
There was an attempt to go in for that spray transfer, but unfortunately, again, SMG winning by sheer numbers. Holding down B main, holding down the middle market. They were able to stifle whatever Aresta was trying to throw at them. That said, though, it was kind of an eco-ish round for Aresta, so now they're coming in with their full force, full buys. Do you reckon they're going to be able to do a little bit more damage? I see Fixski on the Odin.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna bring that up. I noticed it. I was like, oh no. But lucky for the side of Aresta, they're not going anywhere towards that B side. So Pixie and her Odin, they'll have to wait a bit. The one way coming to this is gonna enable Envious to peek off and immediately take care of that boom bot there. They're just gonna be Aresta is just gonna be arrested in place, waiting for a push, seeing if anybody is going to again be making a mistake there. As again, this double push coming in, the double prong push coming in from them, trying to get a bit of control here. This time they do have a little bit of an advantage. They only have to deal with 2 players from the side of SMG here, but NVS is more than enough as she takes on one already. The K utility preventing them from making any kind of headway up towards short. Now the fragment, then the flash, but Kohibi, she's going to be able to get the trades, and it's going to be 3v3 equalize scores yet again as they finally get control of that A side.
This is great control though, but here comes that lockdown, and now they're going to be forced to make a move. If they don't, they're going to be detained, and that is why we already see Rudy's backing all the way off in towards Wine. Kohibi with the satchel and the spray from the Vandal actually finds 2. 1v3 situation, Zach.
I mean, we've seen 1v3 clutch before, but that Odin is going to go to 36 HP left, and Kohibi is able to get the trade. 4 kills off of her, 1 with that satchel, and the defuse comes through right now. SMG looking extremely strong in momentum. I don't think they've lost her round yet in this half. It's 9-8 right now, and again, it's going to be a bit of an eco coming in for the side of SMG, for the side of Aresta here, if I'm not wrong, and it seems like we are going to be seeing the scores at 9-9 if this goes through here.
It could be. I mean, they're going to be forced to save one more time, but if there's any semblance of hope from that, take a look at their ultimates. They've got 4 out of 5 of them. Rosie potentially going in for that lockdown this time, and they might just be able to use that in the next round. Of course, that's it. 9-9. you're going to want to
Oh
play a
no.
little bit more carefully. Fixkey, though, going for that tried and true method of the Recon plus the Odin, completely shuts down B main, and I'm pretty sure Aresta are going to try to attempt at a different push.
The worst part is that's going to be the lockdown offline, so no more free site take with it. It's going to be the Hunter Sphere available as well, so even if she does choose to use it, it's going to be broken down pretty quick, I would say. Again, Yoki is the perfect person to hold down the short area. I like that she moved back towards the door instead of playing aggressively, because now she has Kaibi to back her up, and also from that spot where she's playing, usually she has can just buy so much time here. I think she has spotted out Yuki here, and she is going to be playing up in this corner. And yep, it's going to be a little bit of an awkward situation as Yuki takes her down. The showstopper popped and she somehow survives. Noxy stays alive here, but doesn't take down Kohibi. Gets the kill, but 10 HP left. Spike goes down, and we are still holding down the fort here, and things are looking quite bad for us right now.
Yeah, this one position is going to be overrun really quickly, and that means Rudy's is the only one left. Picks up the spike, but unfortunately, Kfredite is just as fast, and that is that 9-9 that SMG we're looking for now, tied up, neck to neck. 5 ultimates on the side of Aresta, though.
Yeah, this might be the round that they really needed, because if they can, you saw the round that SMG won. At least 2 of those were off the back of 3 ultimates. You saw the lockdown, you saw the null command, all command as they tried to make their way into sight, and we might be seeing something similar right now. Sure, they don't have the showstopper anymore, but they do have the Hunter's Fury, they do have the Empress, and of course they have the lockdown. So it seems like this time they want to go towards a very very straightforward A hit. All hands on deck here. Nobody's trying anything towards short. The Empress has popped, and towards the lockdown here. NVS left alone here in this corner, and it might make all the difference because she's not going to be trapped here. A little bit of damage done to Yoki by that blue bot, and just so many ultimates being popped here. It's so confusing.
Ooh.
SMG getting 3 though. 2, 1 from NVS, 1 from the Hunter's Fury, and Kohibi just holding down the fort from heaven.
All the difference, all the frags, and all thanks to Envious hiding all the way in that little corner where the lockdown will not be able to reach her. Even peeks out one more time now, and another one, getting the 3rd kill, a flawless defense from Team SMG, 10-9.
Finally, the lead has been taken, and it seems like SMG are feeling extremely confident on the map. Like, all they needed was that side swap, and I think that might have been a little bit of calculation coming in as well from Aresta. The fact that they were banking on getting that lead on defense here, but SMG they seem flustered by it, and it's going to be a timeout right now coming in for Aresta. They want to figure out what exactly is going wrong, and the thing is they're just not able to get into any of these sites here. It looks really really rough for them. They've tried B main, they've tried mid, they've tried an A split, they've tried an A push. So far it's no dice.
Yeah, none at all. I mean, every time you roll that 20-sided die, you land on a natural 1, and it's something that you don't really want. But they're still going to try to roll it once more, though. I mean, this is now 9-10. They're going to have to eco one more, and that potentially puts them in a worse spot. But at the very least, they're going to be able to try to figure out how SMG tends to play for that defense. And right now, it just seems rather standard, rather similar to how Aresta was playing defense, actually. Not too many aggressive peaks or anything, just waiting for them to push forward, and really Envious anchoring down sites like nobody's business.
It should be illegal. Like they're just able to find no purchase on the A side, and even if Envious goes down, she usually takes like 2 or 3 with her. So it makes the map really really swing in SMG's favor there. And again, it's going to be an eco coming in, and things are not looking very good. Izneki does still have that Hunter's Fury. Maybe she can try to get an early pick off of it, but it seems rough. Ivy, she's gonna hear the turret, and peeks out, but Noxy is able to take her down there. She swings into a bit too much more than she can chew off. Already getting the trade, but Noxy is back for it. The thing is, she's just 5 HP now, and Yoki with a clean headshot to Izneki is going to bring things back to an extremely manageable position. Yep, that's going to be NVS taking down Yuki, and it's 3v2 right now with Noxy on 5 HP.
All right, that one timeout just gave Aresta a little bit more fire. Like you said, kind of biting a little bit more off than they can chew, but still, the damage is done. And I don't think Kohibi's going to want to play too open anymore, up towards the middle ground at the very least. But Now, with one rifle and a sheriff, Rudy's with her from the shadows. Not going to use it just yet. Yoki roaming around on the map, finding one more frag. Where could this last player be?
She's gonna walk though into the crosshairs of Pixie, just waiting with the Odin, and that is going to be SMG. 11-9, one away from match point, two away from victory. And I think what is that? They've won 8 consecutive rounds right now. They do not seem like they're slowing down
Haven't
at
dropped
all.
a single round. This is 8 rounds on defense that they've won non-stop, Zach.
It's insane, and you can't just attribute it to one player. Like, yeah, we talk about envious, but everybody is absolutely just holding down sites and making it so expensive for Aresta to get any kind of control here. And again, Aresta, they are going to be going in for that mid to B push. This time, though, more players stacked in mids. I think that they're trying to overwhelm Kohaibi, perhaps, who has been the solo fortress there. Yo, the satchel play in is going to do a lot of damage to her, but she still manages to stay alive and fall back. Noxy has used those double touches, so it's going to be even more rough for her to push in. Kohaibi is going to get that kill though, misses, and Noxy will jumping headshot her. Yuki getting a kill as well, and yep, the weapon pickup comes through. And the trades are quick in the B side here. Noxy though still holding down the angle. Finally, it seems like Aresta can do something, but Envious is ready. Yuki is there for the trade. Again, I don't think we've seen a single successful showstopper so far in this matchup.
Maybe not. At least they're not Rosa ults, but still. This is how you want to take down the defense from SMG. And it all comes down from that mid control, that mid play with Noxy and a judge of all things going in and pushing Kohaibi all the way back. Unfortunately, that operator does not come online in this scenario. And of course, that's the first round in this second half that SMG has lost. 10-11 now. And Aresta just might be able to chain a little bit more. If they lose this one, they should still be able to buy a little bit on the next, which would be match point. So they're going to have to find whatever they can in this one.
It's looking like they finally figured out that the way to take down the side of SMG is to overwhelm them with brute force, because that's what last round was. At Fragment, keeping A short clear for a little bit longer, Yoki will have the information and will be forced to fall back. But in the meantime, the lurk, Rosie is gonna be caught off guard by Pixie pushing through. And yep, oh no, it's gonna be Rudy still who's holding the rifle. Yuki as well peeks out to the right side, and yep, that is gonna be B side open. Spike going through, but this is the issue. The rest of the team is nowhere. The rest of the side of Team SMG is nowhere nearby, so the retake is going to be all the more harder because they have to clear market. They have to regain control and try to take the site back.
Yeah, it's one hell of a rock pull coming in from Aresta, just allowing SMG to think that B lobby would be clear. And now, 2 players remaining. They have the money, but instead they're going to opt for this save. It's just not a great situation for SMG to be in. In fact, Yuki is going on the hunt, picking up souls along the way. Yoki is going to have to back off into a corner now.
She does have her Empress ready, so we'll possibly hear that coming through next round. And I I don't know what SMG was thinking there. A little bit of overextension towards B side. You know, they got the advantage. They want to hold on to it, but instead they go forward. Yoki finally putting a stop to the rampage of Yuki there. I think she got 3 that round, if I'm not wrong. And yep, 11-11. It could be anybody's game right now, honestly.
It certainly could, but I do want to say that this has to be SMG's round, because if they don't, they're not going to have enough for the next one, and that will be match point. So this is time to put down your foot on the ground, because if you don't, SMG, they'll get run over by Aresta.
Yeah, they definitely have their foot on the accelerator, that's for sure. Going full speed right now, full sending it, as people say. And again, it seems like they do want to go towards mid and short here. They eventually want to go towards A, and I'd say they don't want to mess with Envious. They're like, yeah, Envious can take A mid. It's okay. We have other areas we can push through, and it seems like short is where they want to go. And I love this waiting coming in from them. The fact that they are just waiting out the KO's utility here. Yoki, she has to use everything she has to try and capitalize on it, or at least keep the area. But after it's gone, it's just pretty easy for them to take it.
It's worked out so well. Let's see if they can do it again on a different site now. What they might not know, however, is the fact that Yoki's hiding on the other side of that little corner. Noxie pushes forward, and there is that first flick. Now the rest of them streaming in, but SMG is pretty much in control at the site.
Ooh, as Neki does get that trade, but Kaibi gets it right back. Rosie takes her down 2v3, 1v3 right now, as Rudy's is left alone, having to clutch it out. And it seems like an almost impossible task because she knows Yoki's position. She doesn't know where the rest of them are. If that's going to give away the position of Pixie there, who has an operator of all things. Pretty interesting. And oh no! She gets spotted at the last second. That is so unfortunate. Takes half her HP away with the shock dart as well. That is so unfortunate. Now she's surrounded on all sides here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, will spot the Sova, but it's going to be A main though, where Kira Freddy gets the flank and takes her down. 12-11. SMG making that grueling comeback from 3-9, getting themselves to match points, and they still managed to keep the op going into the next round. So definitely something that, you know, it might make things even more rough for Aresta here.
It just seems like whatever Aresta tries in towards the A side doesn't really work out, all because you've got so many players anchoring it down. Like you said earlier on, right? Everyone's pulling their weight, whether it's Yoki or Kohibi coming in from side itself. The one site that has worked out so well for Aresta thus far has been B. And I do think going in for a bit of mid control, they might just be able to pull off yet another B split. Fixkey trying to prevent that with her operator, though. She's going in for a bit of information right now.
Yep, the recon is going to be broken, but it's not going to give away anything as to how many players are outside B main. So that's going to keep Fixie and Kara Freddy both occupied on the B side. Meantime, Noxie has some level of mid control. She's not going to be pushing up just yet. It seems like they do want to make some noise on A short and you know, dial in a little bit of confusion, trying to get the rotation to come through. But they are moving. Fixie and Kara Freddy are just holding down the B side, and the first pick coming through is going to make things even more tough as Kara Freddy gets a second, and it's going to be Fixie who's left alone on B, having to hold it down here.
She's looking for it. Oh no, doesn't quite get it though. Nuki just a little bit faster than her. But look at this, the cavalry has arrived. Envious and Kohibi here to defend and to prevent Aresta from stealing away their map pick. 11-13, they made it close, but unfortunately not quite getting the win just yet.
I think with this we can say the 90 curse is definitely something that is real, at least today, for the side of Team Aresta here, because they just couldn't do anything. I think they won a grand total of 2 rounds on attack. They could not go up against the combined might of SMG on defense, and that was absolutely gorgeous coming in from them. The fact that the backup there was so perfect, the rotations were so clean, nobody overextended except for one instance towards B-main, and that was one of the rounds they lost. So definitely really spectacular play coming in from B-main. I'm sorry, from SMG.
That's right. I mean, they won that many rounds on the defense. If we take a look at the stats pretty soon, you can exactly see just how this team worked so well together. I mean, if you take a look at how their kill-death ratios all pan out, it's roughly around or within the same range. Look at that, like 1.9, 1.6, 1.4, 1.5, 1.2. It's all just about the same range. On the other hand, though, Aresta, a lot of those frags came in from Noxie and Nuki, and that was something they sorely needed on their attacking half. It worked out a lot better when they figured out that the mid-B split kind of play. Unfortunately, though, SMG started to adapt to that, and if you think about it, it's all down to how you work with your utility, with your guns, and SMG picking up that operator in the form of Nuki in the last round made all the difference. So, what do you think is going to happen next, Zach, on Icebox?
I mean, SMG, the thing is, this is their map pick, and they barely won it. And
I know.
Looking incredibly strong, so I think that Icebox, we saw Aresta in action yesterday on Icebox, and if they can put up the same kind of firepower, they should be able to take it. So I think odds are we're going to be seeing a map 3 here, but we do have Icebox coming up first, and I think I'd have to say Aresta have a very good chance of taking that one.
They definitely do. I mean, again, their showing against Alter Ego Celeste yesterday definitely made a statement. 13-9 against the reigning queens of FSL, against the reigning queens of VCT Game Changers APAC, is not a joke. SMG are going to have to be a lot more prepared for this map, because if not, we're going to go into split, and who knows how that one's going to go. If Ascent was already this close, who knows? I mean, Icebox, if it's even worse, that's not going to be a good look for SMG. But of course, we will only find out what happens after this break. Catch us again, guys. And here we are. Welcome back, folks, to the VCT Game Changers APAC. It's day two. We're in the lower bracket. Hey, I'm Quack, and this is Zach. Um, 13 to 11. Who would have thought SMG, started things off a little bit rocky, but they came back in full swing. Now we're headed in towards Icebox, and that's Aresta's map pick. What do you think, Zach?
I mean, honestly, it was a really, really close game. 13-11, and SMG, they had to mount like a huge comeback to take it to the victory. Definitely did manage to do that. So I think Arista might be feeling just a little bit demotivated after that. But, they don't seem like a team to let it get to them. So definitely, and Icebox is their pick as well. So they will be feeling a bit more confident. So it might just balance each other out there. So yeah, we are going to be heading into Icebox. This is a map that they lost 9-13 against the Queens of FSL, which are Alter Ego Celeste. So definitely a map that they have proven to be strong against, strong on, and you never know. You might just see them pull it off and take us to a map 3, which is going to be split. And the thing is, split could be anybody's game because it's a map that both of these teams, have managed to. Have like less, they haven't played it much, and it seems like Aresta has a little bit more practice. So thing about SMG is they are insanely good on maps that they have a lot of practice on, but when it goes to these mystery maps, it could really be anybody's game.
It certainly could. In fact, I do think this is one that, like you mentioned, Aresta is a lot more familiar with. There is a reason why they've picked it twice. Any chance they get, they picked it against Alter Ego Celeste yesterday. Now they're picking it against SMG. They definitely have something in the bank, but they're gonna have to pull out all the stops right now because just to remind everyone of the stakes of this series that we have at our hands, if whoever loses this gets knocked out of the tournaments, and Aresta are the ones in danger of that position right now.
More than that, it is also a battle for the qualification slot
Exactly.
for FSL Elite here. So definitely, both of these teams have a lot at stake. I'd say SMG more so than Aresta because as it is right now, they almost certainly will make it to Elite from these first four opens from their points that they've accumulated, unless they get knocked out in this loser bracket. So definitely a lot on the board here. Probably what propelled them to make that 3-night comeback last game. It's like, it can't just be the caster's curse. So we didn't even bring it up, I think. So yeah, they definitely do manage to bring it back, and they will have that momentum going in because when you're one map down, it looks like all the cards are down. It can be really, really hard to focus. So let's hope that Aresta have what it takes to do that, or whether SMG can continue their momentum here.
For sure, I think this is like you mentioned. It's really important. It's the stakes are a lot higher for SMG than Aresta. So mentally speaking, actually, this could be something that Aresta uses to their advantage. Who cares about winning or losing right now? Let's just perform and play to the best of our abilities, because if we can actually upset SMG, that will be great. If we can't, we tried our best. So going into this map with that mentality, no pressure, right? And they just might be able to use that with all the confidence that they have to go in for those duels, to go in for those frags. And who knows, they just might be able to crack SMG's defense. On Icebox, it's going to be imperative, I think, just because you've got the Viper, you've got the Sage, you've got, Kohibi on a Chamber, in fact. I think that's something that she's been playing as well on this map. You just might be able to outfrag these players. And if you can do that, you probably have the sight at your very whims and fancies. I mean, it's something that could work out for Aresta, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And Aresta also, like, they do have a really interesting agent comp. I think they've been running Fade ever since she came out, so I'm gonna be interested to see if she is going to be coming out again today here. Of course, we're gonna have Yuki on her trademark Reina at this point. So definitely exciting to see. They do also run a double duelist sometimes, but it seems like Icebox is the one map where they're willing to let go of it temporarily. Temporarily, everywhere else it's double duelist, but on Icebox, it's often just Yuki on the Reina with the rest of her team pushing her forward, and that might be exactly what Aresta needs here. Because on a map like Icebox, especially, when you want to, when it's like, I'd say it's slightly attack favored if you can run the right comps. So definitely, if they can manage to have a comp like the one that they usually run, which involves a Chamber, a Sage, and a Viper, like you mentioned, it's gonna make entries really, really difficult for SMG when they want to come in.
Sure. I mean, that's something that SMG will really have to consider. The lack of a double duelist, maybe, but I still think that it's basically a double duelist just because you have that chamber in the form of Noxie. And judging by her performance from the last map, she was top fragging, maybe a little bit more than Kohibi, in fact. On her raise, she was doing such crazy acrobatics with the double satchel, the judge. She disabled some operators, in fact, with that thing. It's something that really shows how much potential this girl has as a player. Now she's going to be on the chamber, maybe slightly less mobility, but it's something that really could work out extremely well for them if, headhunters, tour de force, perhaps on the defense. That's why I think I would like to see a lot more from their attacking side. SMG, my statistics that I'm looking at are actually from last month's Open, so I'm not sure if SMG has switched it up a little bit on Icebox. But their agent composition is basically exactly the same. The one difference is the fact that Envious would go on a Jet and Nuki would be on the Reyna. So this time around, I don't know, they might change something up. No, actually sticking to the same composition.
Yeah, it seems like this time we're getting a double duelist. Never mind. It seems like they do want to go to the double duelist. Jury seems to be just picking between the Jet and possibly the Sage here. Meanwhile, though, like you mentioned, it does seem to be exactly the same. Envious has gotten her trademark Jet back, so she might be the push that SMG needs to take this 2-0 here. The stakes are high, and everything is on the line here for that team in particular, because if they want to have a chance of qualifying right off the bat, instead of going through overtime or even last chance, they have to end this quickly as possible and carry the momentum forward. And it seems like it is going to be the double duelist coming in for Aresta here. Never mind, Release is just debating us last minute to take the stage instead. Yep, there's just going to be Nuki on the Reyna solo duelist. Honestly, the way she was playing yesterday and this last game, it might be all they need here.
Yeah, it could be. But then again, I mean, these are really, really comfortable agent picks for both teams right now. Like I said, this is what they used from the last Open. That's what SMG had. Aresta playing the exact composition that they had from yesterday. Who knows? SMG could have studied up on the VODs and picked up a thing or two as to how Aresta defends. So this is coming down to that agent composition play. If you take a look at it, SMG actually are playing a flashless composition. Could work out, maybe not as well. And on the other hand, Aresta's only flash comes in the form of Reyna. So it's something that could work out for both sides. I'm not saying that flash is something that you really, really need for Icebox, but going in for those entries is something that's not going to be the easiest, just judging by how both teams have been defending so far.
Yeah, the defense has been incredibly strong, and we saw some of that yesterday as well from Aresta here on the defense. They did quite a phenomenal job, especially considering who they were playing against. So I think this time around they are going to be on attack. So the goal here for them, for Aresta, is to get as many rounds as possible, because they are going to be hampered a little bit, I would say, by just having a single duelist. But like you mentioned, if it's going to be the non-lurk coming in, it might just make the difference here for the team here. And I think, in fact, it's going to be a little bit of a Noxie on the chamber, who is going to be on the lurk possibly here, so it might make the difference. And if she does push with Nuki, though, that might be the backup she needs to be able to get into sites.
And that's another thing to take a look at as well. I mean, with how Aresta could position themselves around, maybe Noxie would lurk, maybe not. I think it's worth pointing out that Noxie versus Kohibi could be a really interesting play as well. I mean, both on the chamber, both having such incredible fragging potential. In fact, they were playing almost the exact same... Well, they were playing the same agent from the previous map. Raze versus Raze. Now it's Chamber versus Chamber. I mean, coming down to these two teams, these two players, they're the ones to look out for.
Yep, we saw them on the last map. I mean, if Envious on Omen is that scary, Envious on Jet is like a whole other level, I would say. Definitely, she might be exactly what SMG need to go in. And the thing is, SMG is starting off on defense here, so they just need to keep the it might sound very simplistic, but they just need to keep the site safe because retaking on Icebox, especially on that A site, it's a little bit rough. It's not, you can't do the same thing they did on Ascent where they just played retake a lot. So something that they really don't want to do is let the spike get down too much, especially when you have agents like Viper and Sova come in. And I haven't seen much of it, but there are people who just play lineups. So
It
yeah,
happens.
it
That's
happens.
Icebox for you. So we're gonna have to see how the teams actually work their way around this. I mean, these are basically like one of the more optimized agent compositions, if you will. But taking a look at how they're positioned right now, Aresta walking all the way in towards A site
Oh.
with the one person there to defend being Yoki. It could just be that SMG are just setting up for that retake or rug pull sort of play.
Yeah, it does seem that way because they've cleared out B main. They know nobody's lurking around towards there. Nobody's cleared out mid, but that trademark is gonna give away the information. The spike has gone down though, but Noxy is there to watch the team's back. They do manage to pick up that upgrade here. It's gonna be them stuck as well. And in fact, Nuki and Noxy clean up those kills here. Release does go down, but Rosie's there for the trade. It's all down to Yoki, left in a 1v4. Doesn't even get one, does quite a bit of damage, but Rosie, with the 1 HP left, is gonna be able to take it.
And that is just an incredible way of taking down the site and also defending it in that retake scenario. I mean, you called it. Noxy would be playing against that lurker or flank guard, and she did just that with her trademark, with her headhunter, holding it all the way from Belt itself. At the same time, even Yoki trying to anchor down from screens wasn't going to work out. SMG might just want to play a little bit more defensive to anchor down the site on the site itself.
Yeah, you don't want to let A side go. Even B, you can manage because with Soul Utility, you can take control of yellow, and as long as nobody's playing lineup, you can get it done. But A side is just so hard to retake, and that's why they seem to be going here again and again. Oh, Nuki manages to spot one, gets the second, in fact, and is able to overheal because it's Arena. It's the advantage of it. And the push is coming in from the side of SMG. Is actually working out here with those classics doing quite a bit of damage. 3v3 right now. Yes, the site has been taken. The retake is on, but at least their numbers are equal here. Oh, Yuki.
But not quite clearing the corners. There's going to be a little bit of a trade. Kfredady, the last one left now as Kohabi falls. This is a 1v2 scenario, Zach, and I just don't really see how Kfredady might be able to make her way out of this one alive.
I mean, she has the wall. If she can get one shot, it might make the difference. And she had it, but doesn't connect. So Rudy's is going to take it. But the damage done was a great deal. They managed to take down 3 Spectres from the side of Aresta here. So going into the next round, it might make their job significantly easier. And this is a lesson. Always check your corners, because Nuki might be looking in the... No, I'm kidding. But yeah, either way, it is going to be the bonus now for Aresta. They do have those 2 Spectres from last round, but everybody else is just going to be on pistols. So unless SMG, manage to somehow drop some more weapons for them, it's going to be a bit rough for Aresta.
Now that should be how it goes on paper, but judging by how Aresta plays, you never quite know how this is going to turn out. Again, Yoki is the only one on the A site to defend, so it's very important that she doesn't really overextend her position right now. She's hiding tucked away in that corner, trying to move back around underneath rafters, but here comes Fixky all the way from the top. She's able to take down 2, and then goes back just to put out her Owl Drone.
I love this wall coming in from Yoki here because for the attackers to push through it, A, it's gonna cause a debuff, and B, they can't figure out which angle exactly to clear, and that just enables the Sova Fixie to play off. But in the meantime, Kohaibei is here as well for the backup. Rudy's gets 1, but it's 2v3 yet again, and both these players looking extremely low here, 1 bullet away from their demise. Rudy does manage to heal herself up a little bit. The only player who has to get a kill to make something happen here gets 1. Left in a 1v2 and does have the resurrection. So this might be what SMG needs to get back into the round. She also looks fairly healthy, but I don't think she expects this to wrap her up, and Kohaibei who takes her down. For a second, it looked like SMG were at very, very big danger of losing the round, but Kohaibei pulls it back.
I don't know. I don't hate that. She held on to her res instead of spending it in this round, because you know what? They're playing the long game. The damage has already been done. SMG, they've lost 3 players in that round, meaning that, yep, Kfredady going for the judge, Envious having no choice but to go for a Spectre, and Fixkey going for light shields. This could be an opportunity for Aresta to find yet another win.
It seems like it, and so far this time it seems like they want to go for mid instead. The recon bolt is not going to spot out Nuki, but they know that there is a presence down there, especially because of the Viper Orb. They don't know if somebody's gone under a tube, so it's gonna be envious who has to come back to watch that angle instead. That makes B a little bit more free, especially once this wall breaks, as long as they clear out the stage here, because again, corner judge, not a very good combo you want to miss out on.
That's exactly it, and that's why Kfredite's just hiding, waiting. Aresta, though, thinking smarter of it, going down for that mid play instead. But take a look at the minimap as well. 3 players plus the Spike headed towards A, knowing that Yoki has been the only one here thus far. If they can take her down, they have the site for free.
Oh no! It's Neki with that cheeky little zipline play. It's gonna take her down, and Spike should go as well. Garfiretti with the judge. That's the worst part. She only has a judge to work with, and she has to rotate. And guess who's waiting for her down mid? It's just Nuki who takes her down, all in the hands of Kohaibi. We've seen her clutch before, but I don't know. This is a 1v5 that she has to pull off, and it seems like she still wants to go for it. No save coming in from the chamber now. Manages to get one, no damage done, but her position is known, and she doesn't know where anybody else is. Has to clear out every single angle here before she can even try to tap the Spike. Surrounded on all sides by enemies, and yep, Negi is going to be the lucky one who takes her down. It was a 1 in 4 chance, and well, Sova gets it.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be a miracle for Kohaibi to make that a win. It was a 1v5 scenario. She did what she could, got the first one, but unfortunately, a position was also given away and basically trapped on the side itself. That said, Aresta are up 3-1 right now, and they're starting to build a little bit of bank. At the same time, looking at the ultimates, both sides have 3 out of 5. SMG going for the save this time around, however, and that just means they're going to have to play a lot more carefully. I don't know if this position of having Yoki as the sole defender of the A site, I don't know if that's working out.
I mean, it's certainly working out for Aresta here, as they again seem to be wanting to go towards the A side. Noxie has pulled out the tour de force as well, making things even more tough for her, because that weapon should be nerfed sometimes, so it's just so good. The re-peaks as well as the damage it does. Even if you shoot somebody in the foot, it's going to be a kill coming in. Kohaibi has it as well, though, so it might be the changer here that they need, but oh no, she misses, and Iznegi is able to quickly take her down with an extremely well-placed headshot. Spike should be going down after a little bit of a fake to draw out the Sova utility here. They do have the Hunter's Fury, but I don't think they're going to be choosing to commit it, think that it is around, which is basically an equal for them. And the retake is down, the Spike is down, and so far it seems almost impossible for the side of SMG to get any kind of control on this A side. Iznegi is the first hurdle they'll have to face, and she's just slowing them down.
No problem. Yoki with the Sheriff, though, comes in, finds a quick double, and all of a sudden this is slightly doable, but with the fact that she's 5 HP, it's just way too tough. Nuki, all she needs to do is to hold W and cleft click. Actually gets the headshot as well. 4-1, and Aresta put themselves forward.
I think you call it overkill, a headshot for 5 HP, but anyway, that's just Nuki doing Nuki things. The rest, they're looking extremely strong here on this attack. Their read is so good, and it's very surprising to me that SMG, even now, are still not opting to buff up that A side, because it's proven that they're having trouble on retakes here. It's been proven that even in rounds where they had a significant weapon advantage, they haven't been able to capitalize on that. And it seems like Aresta's just going to keep doing what they're doing. They don't even want to go for excessive map control. Sure, you have one player towards mid, but the rest of them, they're just going towards the A side yet again. This time the Kohaibi is there, so she might be what the additional backup that Yoki desperately needs to try and hold on to the site.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. SMG are the ones who kind of need to fix it, and they're trying to do that in the form of Kohaibi rendezvousing on towards the side itself. Goes in for a bit of a peek, but there are 3 players on the other side of that wall. She might be able to take down one, but the operator just shoots her right back down. Hunter's Fury committed, and it doesn't quite do all that much. Aresta still has a minute left to work with, and they are already pushed up so far up front. The rest of the squad, though, look at them. Rotating all the way In towards middle, in towards B garage.
Oh, that timing was so crucial for Fair Freddy because guess what? She also does have the resurrection, and that's gonna be Kohaibi back in the game. And Envious is still on this B side. She's gonna give the information that yep, we have some enemies coming here. Manages to get one kill, dashes away. The Viper Spit is committed as well. The spray's coming through, doing a lot of damage there to Rosie. 2v4 right now. Immediately, situation is flicked. Make that a 1v4, and Fixly trades it out perfectly. What looks impossible for SMG is made possible just with that resurrection as well as that beautiful read from Envious.
Awesome. It just perfectly works out. Great reads, I mean, I guess we would have to say. And it really worked out just because they were a little bit faster this time. If Yoki's the only one on site, and she's not able to put a dent in whatever Aresta throws at them, that's the site gone. They won't be able to do anything about it. But this time around, Kohaibi was a little bit faster. She was able to hold them off and kind of forced Aresta to rotate. And that's where Envious knew exactly where they would head towards. This time around, Viper Spit deployed towards A pipes, and yikes. Aresta are going to have to look for a different entryway because jumping on the ropes might be able to get them across, but you're still going to have to deal with the players hiding inside of this green gas.
So the thing about this Viper's Pit is that it also blocks off a lot of angles for the defenders here. So people who are playing on top of pipes or other places, they might be able to really do some damage. But in the meantime, really she's gonna get caught by that spray from Yoki. Unseen spray, by the way. We'll take her down. But in the meantime, Yuki, she manages to make her way up towards the box. A little bit of jumping coming through. And stays alive as well. With a reasonable amount of HP. Noxie takes down Kohaibi as well. Both these teams using the Viper Spit to their advantage. Though, I don't think Aresta should be allowed to do that. Either way, though, 4v3 right now. Things are not looking too good for the side of SMG. Though, Noxie is only 5 HP and there's no Sage to top her back up here. So she is just one bullet away from death. The rotation is again coming through. And again, it's going to be Envious who has to hold down the fort.
This is impressive. I mean, Nuki's just essentially turned that Viper's Pit into her own jungle gym. And now the rotation's going through. That Viper's Pit is a bit of a double-edged sword, but you know what? Envious is a great sword as she slams it down perfectly, dropping the spike carrier, dropping 2 players. And now Aresta having no chance at winning in this round. And Nuki having no choice but to just go for frags.
Yeah, she does manage to save that Vandal, which is a bit good for her. But apart from that, it was really, really good. This is the second time Envious has singles-handedly put a halt to the push coming in, the rotation coming in from SMG. And man, she's not moving unless a spike gets mounted on that A side. She's just going to be holding down B. Like there's no tomorrow. Those clean headshots coming in, especially that third shot. I know that she was only 5 HP, but still, that was really, really clean coming in from her. Either way, though, it is going to be SMG at 3-4, and the economy not looking too good right now for the side of Aresta. It's good that Nuki managed to save that Vandal, because otherwise they have almost nothing to work with here, except for maybe that Marshall from Izaneki.
Maybe. I don't know how much that's going to provide. Yoki plays so safe on the side itself, and she even has her Toxic Scream. Kohaibi now pushing up front. Fixki as well. Aresta not having the best guns allows for SMG to make such plays.
Yeah, and that's going to be the only rifle that they have dropped as well. Ooh, a little bit of an awkward moment as it's going to be Sage who runs through the crosshairs of that Marshall, but it's not going to be a shot coming through. And yep, Rosie gets caught off guard as she tries to go for the Vandal here. Just 2 players left right now for the side of Aresta. Both of them stuck on A, so there's no map control anywhere else. If they have to go somewhere, it has to be A right now. They can't even work their way back towards mid because there are 2 players there. And B is still being held by Envious and Kohaibi. This is a little bit sad for Envious though, because she did pop that Blade Storm and she's not getting anything out of it.
I don't know. It's not really looking too good for Aresta, at least in this round. SMG playing a lot more safe as well.
30 seconds left.
Now that they have those opening frags. Another player falls. And a Zengi with her Marshall. You said it earlier, but unfortunately at this range, walking up front, K490 just holds it down. And that's a flawless defense for SMG. 4-4, Zach. Now Aresta are going to be able to fold by, but SMG has built up quite a bit of bank.
bank and momentum. So the fact is that they finally managed to. I like this about SMG. They're one of those teams that manages to adapt really, really quickly. They realized that the A site was weak, so they moved Koibi over to buff it up. Looking at the map right now, it seems like they're just playing mid a little bit loosely. They know that players on A and B are having much more luck holding them down better right now. So it seems like mid is one of the most vulnerable areas, and it seems like that's exactly where Aresta might want to go here. You can see Yuki leading the charge, and Noxie's just going to be waiting here to see if she can just spot out Kira Aphrodite, but does not manage to connect the shot here.
I think that's a great point. They might be able to make use of mid, but they still need to watch out for that crossing. They still need to ensure that if they do push out to the other side of top mid, off the other side of Boiler, there could be players from SMG positioned up around Kitchen, up around Rafters, and up around this little wall. They continue to go forward with the B-split push, but will they be able to hold it down for long? Envious is here to hold them off, and she gets one knock before getting traded. K490 comes in now, and that's the spike carrier drop sack. Oh no!
And Sniggy has been spotted too. Shockdart doing a little bit of damage. In fact, might even take her down. Never mind, they've been nerfed. Yep, the spike has been retrieved, but it's still going to be 2v3. And there's not much in the way of ultimates to work with either. One of their planes being low in HP as well. It's going to be Rosie, who takes a little bit of a swing, but will, in fact, go down. Pixie, Sniggy is able to take one down, but Pixie is there for the trade. And SMG, they take the lead here from 1-4 to 5-4, quickly winning rounds in succession.
Yeah, and it all comes down to their defense because they've started to adjust to it now. Earlier on, maybe A was a little bit weaker, but now they're a lot more comfortable with the fact that you got Koibi, Fixki perhaps as well, just positioned and hovering around the middle. If they needed to go back in to reinforce A, they could do that really quickly. And that's exactly why Aresta, they're just kind of a little bit less confident about how they want to push up front. It's a lot slower than we've seen compared to the first few rounds, and I think that's something that's kind of working against them, Zach.
Definitely, they're being forced to not play their usual comfort picks, and now Koibi as the operator as well, making things even more rough as they try to entry their way onto site. Noxie does have that Headhunter pistol, but I don't know how much damage it can really do here. It's going to be the chamber facing off the chamber, and no, Koibi just has to not go into that. She's like, I don't want to need anything to do with that. I'm just going to peek from here instead. Falls back a little so that she has the backup of their team. I feel like she was trying to consider if she could hit a wallbang there or not. But yep, she's going to be watching. She has to watch two angles at least to be able to do anything. And in the meantime, it seems like the rotation has come through as well from SMG. Three players towards A main, and mid is being watched by Kira Aphrodite as well. So once this wall breaks, she is going to be able to catch any kind of rotations that come through.
Definitely putting herself in that lurk position to pull off such plays, though. Despite that, Azenki with the Bulldog will come in at just the right time, and now Nuki going in as well. Koibi, uncharacteristically whiffing a shot, allows for the A site to be taken by Aresta. 2v4 retake now. And that's going to be tough for SMG.
Ooh, NTS is a little bit cautious as she manages to put down a smoke and cross, but takes so much damage because of that little bit of gap presence in it. She's really low right now, and they, like you mentioned, it is a 2v3, and they have managed to pick up upgrades. Only Rudy's is still on the chip. Everybody else they have an operator, they have rifles. It's going to be really rough for this retake to happen, especially since there's no player that has smokes or anything else. Envious, though, still gets one kill, and Pixie is trying to get the defuse. I think manages to stick half there, but that fight is doing so much damage. Envious somehow getting another here. Pixie just trying to defuse it, stick it, but Rosie gets her.
And that's just so close, maybe a couple of seconds away from defusing the spike, but Aresta just in time with the operator. Despite Envious's best effort, she was that player who was that low on HP because of that crossing, like you mentioned. It worked out well for the time being, but of course, Aresta just had those numbers. So again, it comes down to that fact. A site has definitely been the answer thus far for Aresta. And if they can continue to go on forward, if they can continue to go in with such a fast pace that Yoki cannot respond in time, they should be able to take the site down really easily.
Yeah, Noxie has her the operator back on her hands as well, so definitely she's one of those players who's really scary to watch out for. With we saw her on the race, now she's on the chamber, which makes her even more devastating. And again, they're just walking their way into this A side. This time it's Pixie and Yoki have to try and hold it down, but Yoki she just gets taken down, gets cleared immediately by Nuki, and that's going to be a 5v4 right off the bat. Aresta already having
Ooh,
control of
Fixie.
the A side here. Things are looking very rough for SMG right now.
Maybe a little bit, but Fixie definitely in position to do something, wanting to go and line up to take down the spike carrier, but unfortunately goes down regardless. Spike planted now, Viper's Pit dropped as well, and they're going to need so much information, so much positioning if they are able to retake this site. Taking out players from the top, nope, not quite, as Zengi just continues to spray down, gets a quick double, Fixie with the trade, but still, I don't see how they can make it through this Viper's Pit, Zach.
Unless they connect a lucky spray down or something onto the Viper, but she's not playing it. She's not having any of this. They have to take out everybody else before they can deal with her, and it's all down to Fixie here. Knows that there's at least 2 players. Here's the reload, but she's gonna be caught, taken down to 43 HP. No time left either. She might as well try to save this gun, but I don't think that's happening, as the spike should take her down with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, just almost made it away as well. Wanted to kind of maybe trap the Aresta players to die along with the spike, but whatever it is, it just didn't work out, and Aresta has the bank, so they can always buy up regardless. We're down into 5-6 now, last round before the swap, and a timeout is being called.
I mean, SMG do need it. They figured out what exactly to do, but again, the A site is where they've been so vulnerable so far. And while initially putting up Kuhaibi and Yoki had stopped the blood from flowing, right now it seems like Aresta, they know exactly what to do. Yuki is literally pre-firing those angles where she knows Yoki might be playing, and it's working out fantastically for Aresta, I would say. Because once that Viper goes down, there's no more smokes for retake, there's no more snakebite to stall or clear out other angles. There's just so much utility that just isn't there for SMG to even attempt a retake coming in, and it's really, really proving to be devastating for them so far on this defense here.
Yeah, no kidding. Yoki alone on the side is just not quite enough to hold them off. So I'm not sure if SMG will finally make some sort of an adaptation. Yoki's still positioned towards the A site, but setting up a slightly different toxic screen this time. Not the diagonal one that we're used to seeing. But then again, they need those reinforcements because Aresta, this A hit with Nuki on the entry, it's just been working out time and time again.
It seems like that's exactly what they want to do again. The spike seems to be waiting towards mid, and oh, the mid push coming in from the side of SMG here is pretty interesting here, as Garvey makes her way through the tube. And again, it seems like they just want to go towards the A side. Not much change there. Noxie also has the 2-4, so if anybody puts their head out, or even if she catches sight of anything, it's going to be a free kill.
At least looking for it, but look at how SMG are positioned this time around. Not going to give up any free kills whatsoever, just lining up for those snakebite denials. She is fragile, but unfortunately not quite enough damage. The spike still gets planted regardless. Envious on the flank though. This could be huge, but look at how Aresta are playing her with this. Oh no, they walk right into her crosshairs. She pops a Blade Storm now, connects them on towards Noxie, and 2 players are all that remains.
And the defuse is coming through as well. Already half done. Sure, the Hunter's Fury is committed, but it's going to be Envious who has to deal with the Sova right now. Never mind. It's going to be Pixie who takes her down. It's all in the hands of Rubies who can't do much, and the defuse will be completed. That is going to be 6-6 right now in this half. And SMG, after like a really, really rough start, they managed to pull it back together, and we're going to be heading into a 6-6 scoreline. And honestly, this works out in their favor a little bit, because Icebox is a map where they're Asian comp, as well as the way they've been playing so far. Seems like they definitely have a better time on attack here.
It looks good. I mean, they're able to retake. They're also able to kind of hold them off if need be. Just as sometimes, Yoki alone, one person against full 5-member squad. Yeah, think about those odds for a second. But still, the retakes this time around just worked out so well because they had that flank coming in from Envious. Whatever happened, they just didn't really watch the flank this time around. So it works out for SMG. We're down to that 6-6, but like you mentioned, right, moving on into the next half, I mean, they might need a little bit more than just Envious and Gang, I think, because again, this is Icebox. We've seen those lineups. Aresta, they have so much potential. Unless SMG can find some of these opening picks to take down some of these sites, they might actually have a tougher time. So Aresta, they're gonna have to play defensively. They're gonna have to make sure that they don't lose that opening pick to SMG.
Yeah, that's definitely something to consider because, again, a full 5v5 retake might be possible, but a lot of the rounds which Aresta won that SMG lost was because they managed to get that initial frag. The SMG, they have to be trying to do the same as they go on attack here. If they can take down pivotal players before getting the plantain, it's going to make their lives so much more easier. And, of course, if they can manage to keep their Viper and Sova alive, it makes post-plan so much more fun. Well, not for Aresta, but for the rest of us, yes.
For all you lineup Larrys out there. Yeah, definitely love those plays. But at the very least, I mean, that timeout changed so much. Aresta hasn't used theirs yet, and I'm just thinking, maybe they actually pull it out, because if they don't, just to remind everyone once more, this is 1-0 in the entire series. SMG won Ascent. If Aresta doesn't win this one, they are knocked out of the tournament. Sure, they make a great showing, but still, you want to win as much as possible. They might not be able to seize that chance to win as much as possible to go into that top 3 placing for Elite. But who knows? Let's see what they can pull off. They have shown that they have such an impeccable defense on Ascent. Maybe they can do it again on Icebox.
Yeah, I think that's where SMG managed to steal the show on Ascent. It was them on the second half on defense that they really managed to hold on tight, and this time it's Aresta in the same position. So far, they're looking at the stack here. It seems like they want to go for a full-on 5-woman rush towards the B side here, and there's nobody really to impede them. There is that trademark that might give away a little bit of information, but apart from that, it's going to be the Viper wall that summons in the cavalry. Look at the minimap. 1, 2, 3 people all just waiting on site for the hapless players of SMG to push through. They're just going to be content to wait out that poison orb here. Again, look at the plays coming in. Yuki is going to be holding down mid, so any kind of late lurk will cause issues here. Viper wall goes up again, and it seems like so far it's going to be Kohaibi who gets the first blood.
Somehow, I think, was that through the toxic screen? And in fact, they're not stopping. Look at them. Holding down W, they push all the way up into its snowman where they meet Rosie. Might have been a little bit of a mistake as well as Nuki comes back in, but look at that. Quite the crossfire because of that positioning. Rudy's now the last one left and stuck in this position. I don't see how she can push out.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough because the crossfire here is extremely annoying for her to break. She does manage to peek out, but the sound will come through on Envious. While she does take a headshot, Yoki will ultimately clean her up. Aresta lose the first round, or rather SMG take it, and in a very convincing manner. That was an extremely clean push, and honestly, I wish we could see Kohaibi's perspective there, because I, for the life of me, have no idea where she managed to land up those 2 heads.
I concur. I mean, that looked like Noxie was completely concealed by the toxic screen, but somehow Kohaibi actually found that head just as it happened. So 7-6 now. SMG are poised to turn this into an 8-6. I thought they were a little bit overzealous with the way they were pushing up front in towards Snowman, but it worked out so well, and you can see exactly why that is. Now, overwhelming and overrunning this A site. I don't know if Rosie can actually withstand the push, so she's backing off. In fact, setting up for that retake scenario where we've got 3, maybe 4 players coming in all the way from the back of bottom mid.
Yeah, I mean, I think they trust everybody. They trust the players on site to watch, and of course they do have that trademark available. They're just gonna be waiting for somebody to peek out here. Yep, it's gonna be the Sova who takes down 1, gets dropped HP wise, but manages to fall back safely. Pixie's still alive, still holding on to that Spectre here, and the remaining players are just going to be waiting to see if anyone's going to be overzealous here. Yoki taking another headshot from that classic. Again, these classic headshots from the distance, they only do 66, so it's not really much in the way, but finally Yuki getting a pick here. They're not going to be able to pick up that Spectre though. Yuki left in against Envious, and with that 3k, Envious is going to take SMG to 8, a lead of 2, and really everything they needed.
A near flawless round, something that they definitely were looking for. Like you said, the classic pistol just doesn't do all that much damage from that range. That said, though, being able to connect that 1 dink allowed for Nuki to find yet another frag, and if you take a look at her ult points, just 2 away from the Empress. This is something that Aresta could use for their future rounds, and Now SMG 8-6, Spectres, Frenzy in hand. I don't know. They just might have to continue to put that metal to the pedal. If they hold off for a second, Aresta are going to be put into stronger positions with their rifles.
They do have the Spectres, which can really cause a huge impact in close range. That's going to be the information coming through. Noxie forced to fall back here. Envious already look at her position on the side here. Yuki does manage to get 2. In fact, gets 3. Manages to pick up the overheal as well, but finally Karen Freddy chases her down, gets 2 picks somehow. And it is going to be 2v3 right now. Still pretty doable, I would say. At least they will get the spike plan coming through. And Karen Freddy with that heal, though, that might give away her position. It seems like Rudy's expects it. A little bit of running gun action coming through. The reload comes through at the wrong time. Luckily, Sniggy is there to help her. Ivy left in a 1v3 right now. That's 1, but Rudy's is there to chase it out. And finally, Aresta managed to get around in this half.
Came a little bit close, but this is the standard start. Aresta picking up off the bonus. And now 8-7 is the score. It's still incredibly close, but it shows that Aresta do have that potential to go in for these anchor plays, for these retakes. I mean, this entire round worked out just because Nuki expected them to come through that toxic screen.
Yeah, and it was really nicely played as well. She did manage to get a 3K, just couldn't. I think she made a little bit of a mistake in taking that overheal instead of the dismiss there. And yeah, I think we are having a little bit of a technical pause. Whoever is making Snowman stop, I don't know why, but Snowman and Icebox are actually quite cute. But I digress. Looking at this so far, it's finally the full buy coming in for the side of SMG, and they did quite a bit of damage with their bonus. That's the thing. They managed to take down 3 players, so that's going to be a Bulldog, possibly some light armor on Yuki. I mean, it's Arena, you can afford to go light armor. Nevertheless, though, it's still a bit rough.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, that was their full buy, and losing, what was that, like 3 players? It's not the worst thing in the world. They should still be able to comfortably play in this round, but the text boss coming in, it's something that allows for these players to, take a quick break for a second, resets the momentum. They're not allowed to talk to each other during this pause, but still, I mean, SMG on that round of the offense, considering the fact that they only had Spectres, it's okay that they lost it. They have the full buys now, and they need to make this one count.
Yeah, they do have that. I'm looking at the ultimates available. Ivy also does have that additional little bit of firepower in her pocket called the Tour de Force. So, we might even see her pull it out this round. In the opponent side, it doesn't seem like any of the ultimates are really available, except for the Empress, which I say it's only the Empress, but it's Nuki, and it's the Empress. And so far, she has been doing extensively well for her team here. 18-11, looking extremely strong on that Reyna. And I know people give a lot of trouble to players who still choose Reyna in this day and age with all the other duelists available, but Nuki, she makes it work.
She really does, doesn't she? Reyna in this day and age. I mean, it's you have to give her credit. It's these incredibly smart plays where she's able to go on the offensive and right now on the defense, just hiding in that one spot, watching the angle. As soon as even a little barrel peeks out at the toxic screen, she sprays forward and somehow finds 2 players and then getting the 3rd. It's just incredible to watch these players perform with such heroics. I mean, it works out for Aresta. I do think they're going to need a little bit more than just that, though, in the coming rounds, because SMG might have a few tricks up their sleeves.
Yeah, and I don't know where the Noxie is that we saw last map, but either she's been getting really unlucky or she just hasn't dialed in yet. It seems like she's having a little bit of trouble picking it up. And it's just, maybe it's because she has to make that switch from mentally playing a Raze, where you can just satchel in with a Judge with a Plum, to playing a Chamber, which needs a little bit more passiveness. So it might be a bit rough for her having to make that change in just one map. And this is the thing. She has to make it, because otherwise it's going to make Nuki's job even more difficult. She needs that backup from that team. She can be the tip of the spear, but the spear still has to be there behind the rest of it for the momentum. And it seems like so far Aresta's having just a bit of trouble getting there.
Yeah, I kind of do need that follow through. But that said, I mean, this is your second day on the big VCT Game Changers APAC stream now, coming from Academy. I mean, how has that been like for you, Zach?
Oh, it's been a dream, honestly. And So Academy itself, I was really happy to get it. I wasn't sure if I would honestly, and having Black and Blue as a mentor, and of course my wonderful co-mentees as well. It's been a phenomenal experience. I've learned so much, and I think that they probably will have us talk about it in a video or two. So that should be coming up soon from FSL anyway. But coming from there to being on the actual VCT broadcast, it's a dream come true. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I have to say it's pretty freaking amazing, and not to mention some of these players as well. We have had some teams kind of, in a way, graduate from playing in Game Changers APAC Academy and then moving on to play, yeah, because they got higher ranks to play in the actual group stages of Game Changers APAC Opens themselves. It's very lovely to see a lot more talent coming into the scene like this, and yeah, great job, Zach.
Thank you. I'm a huge fan of you. Like I've already mentioned, like, this is the third
No.
time I'm telling you. So being on the desk with you, it's pretty fantastic, and I just hope that I can do justice to it. And I hope I'm
You
doing that
are.
job so far. Thank you.
Now back into the game. Tech pause is over. SMG playing a little bit more of a default position right now, trying to find some kind of an opening pick. Nuki positioned over by Yellow, trying to suss out whatever information she can get. Here's the Poison Cloud coming out, goes in for the peek, and just might be able to take down that first player.
So you have to be careful with that one way, and getting a little bit too greedy for the ultimate orb is not a very good idea. That is going to be Fixie taken off the board. They do know Nuki's position, and NBS is trying to capitalize on it, but she will be forced to fall back here. And it's going to be the Empress popped as well, and that's going to be like, nope, I'm not going up against an Nuki on the Empress. I'm out of here. And you have SMG here quickly rotating back towards A. To be fair, it's probably not just the Empress, it's the fact that they have so much control of the site. But still, it looked really funny there for a second.
Yeah, screw that crap. I'm out. I'm gonna head over to the A site instead because it's kind of open. But Noxy, perched up in that one spot atop of screens, finds two. I don't see how SMG can recover it from this right now. Maybe get the spike down, but they're essentially trapped on site itself.
Oh yeah, Noxy getting taking 3 is huge there, and it's gonna be a flawless coming through. In fact, for the side of Aresta, like equalizing scores, but that was really unfortunate because Kara she walked so close to where Noxy was sitting up there that she didn't spot her and she didn't clear it either, and that is going to be the mistake that's going to haunt SMG possibly in this map. The fact that she didn't check, and again, it's gonna push them into an eco as well. Sure, they can get the Blaze Storm on Envious if they manage to pick up an orb somewhere, but it still looks rough right now.
No kidding. It's just such a defensive position, different angles on the site itself. Like I was mentioning, Nuki, Noxy, this map is kind of like their jungle gym, and they've been showing how much fragging potential they have just because they're holding all these defensive positions. The wall comes up right now, and they are just taking it to farm up the alt or preventing SMG from coming in. SMG on an eco. Aresta knows this, so all they really need to do is to hold down the sites themselves.
Yeah, and then characteristic mix coming in from Noxy as well, and NBS manages to pick up the Blade Storm. We've seen a very similar Jet yesterday pull off the same kind of antics, but she's gonna be stopped in her tracks by that trademark here. Dash is also wearing out, and yep, she's just gonna be holding on to this Blade Storm. At least they do manage to get the spike plant, so the retake is on. Ooh, the Viper Spit has also been committed, so that's gonna make Aresta's job a little bit more rough.
Okay. Does allow for Envious to stay tucked in that corner for the time being. Wonder who that Jet is from yesterday, though. Coming into this right now, Nuki's just going on the aggressive push all the way from the top of pipes. She's continuing on her onslaught. I don't like this for SMG that. She's continuing to find head. Gets taken down by Yoki for the time being, but not before the entire squad descends upon them. SMG spiked down, but not quite the win.
Oh, that was actually pretty close because there's only 2 seconds left of the timer. If they managed to hold on just a little longer, it might have been what they needed. And man, that play coming in from Yuki there was terrifying. Like, it's just kill, devour, kill, devour, kill, devour. Like, no hint of stopping, no hesitation, and it pays off huge for Aresta there.
And that's what you love to see from Reyna's. Yeah, maybe it seems like a pick that It's a little bit outmoded, perhaps. But when you are that fast and that comfortable on this agent as well as Nuki is, you are able to just perform that well. I mean, look at that, 22 frags right now. Same wall art comes up from Rudy's, but she's gonna have to back off. Look at how SMG are going in to take this fight. Kohibi gets the first one.
Ooh, but Yuki is there, quickly
Whoa.
getting trades, and this hold on this B side seems impossible to break through here. And yep, Noxie is gonna get the last one as well. It's just Kara Freddy left all alone. Does have that resurrection. If she can get a pick or two, she might be able to swing this round back around. But it seems very unlikely so far because the positioning from the players of SMG, from Aresta just seem to make it impossible to break through. Never mind, she gets that first headshot onto Noxie. Very, very clean work there. And the spike is still in her hands as well. It's not like it's been taken back. The push coming in from B main though might be too much for her to anticipate here. Yep, Yuki is gonna clean it up, and that's 10-8 for Aresta, taking a little bit of a lead, I would say.
Definitely did not expect Nuki and Rosie to be in such a forward position, especially up over by Garage. So, a little bit unfortunate, but that is how Aresta is playing thus far. SMG trying to take the fight to them, but unfortunately the punches, the swings, they're just not doing enough damage. They might be able to take down the wall to prevent the ult orb from getting collected, but remember, they still have that one-way poison cloud up over by Green that they just haven't quite found the answer to break through.
I mean, they can wait it out, but they don't seem to be content to do that. And this time, though, it's not in place towards the B site. It is a little bit away. DK does get tagged, and she has the Empress again. What was it, 2-3 rounds ago? Noxie again getting the first, but this time onto Kara Freddy. Nuki as well, with Envious being taken down. They are going to be taking the lead here, I believe, with that. 3 players left for the side of SMG, and the thing is, there is no control anywhere else. So you do see the Viper calling the rotate to A, but it's still going to be Noxie with that operator holding it down, and the trademark is still there for additional information as well. So it's gonna summon the cavalry and get again. You can see Aresta running, and she's like, yeah, let me get this additional kill. And yep, gets another one. One more left to find. It's just Frixie left. Ooh, takes down Nuki as she comes right out of the dismiss. Gets another, in fact, and it seems like Frixie doesn't want to let this go quite yet.
Let's go, Fixie. 1v3, and she's looking for that miracle. Gets spotted by the Aldrone. B hops and airstrafes into the corner, but unfortunately, she is surrounded. All the cops just coming in to cuff her hands behind her backs. And there it is, 11-8 Aresta on the cusp of match point now.
Yeah, and it's gonna be the timeout being called here by SMG because they have to stop this bleeding. They have to try and make sure that it doesn't go to a map 3 because Split is just not a map that they have a lot of practice with from what I've seen from their from both their history as well as previous statistics. So they don't want to let it go that far. Looking at SMG's buyout though, they should be able to at least get in a full buy, so that might give them a little bit of an advantage here. But it looks like Yuki and the rest of the squad are just dialed in. And like I mentioned, once Noxie managed to get her hands on that operator, she's been single-handedly shutting down any kind of push towards A there.
Yeah, I agree. It's just such a strong tool at watching these angles. And with the way that Noxie plays it, she's not overly aggressive with it. You know, most operator players might play her up around rafters, up around the corner. Instead, she hides up around screens instead, and it's just such an off angle that you don't really expect. Probably going to reposition this time around as well. SMG, they need to find a solution to this, and they need to do it quick.
Indeed, that is the case. And it seems like this time perhaps they might try to go somewhere else, which is probably mid, because they know that B seems impossible to take with that one-way Poison Orb coming in. And it seems like SMG has read this well, because immediately you see the push coming in towards Aresta has read this really well. You see the push coming in towards mid from 2 of their players. The Poison Orb will keep them off, but all that noise is going to deter the side of SMG from going forward in that angle for a bit at least. Sperry's still coming through, in fact doing a little bit of chip damage to Envious. They seem to be just waiting perhaps for a mistake from Aresta.
And Aresta are doing the same thing as well. Also waiting for SMG to make a move, to make a mistake. Instantly walling off Kitchen right now. Look at that. Envious though, not stopping, not backing down. She walks in, she gets a quick double, and this just might be the B side broken. However,
Spike planted.
Rudy's still hiding inside of this position now.
The thing is that Rudy's is also just one away from the resurrection. Oh, this crossfire can go deadly, and the timing might be perfect. SMG gets one, and the trade is there. The Care Freddy and Fixie both there. It's going to be a 1v3 right now. The res is still available, and they might actually try to go for it if they can get one more pick here. Yep, that's going to be the chamber backup. The player is spotted as well, and yep, NBS cleans it up with a 4K. Finally, SMG taking a round. They also managed to get that pesky little resurrection out of the way. So 9-11 looking so close to mounting a comeback because all they need is 3 to take this to overtime or even 4 to possibly win.
That's one hell of a way to collect up on a quadra kill. But yeah, you're absolutely right because Aresta are still very much close to that match point. And given their economy, they could probably sustain themselves for yet another round. So SMG, they can't afford to make a single mistake from this point out.
That is the case, and again, they want to try and go for that B site, at least using the utility to try and get some control. The spike is still dropped though, and they're just going to be defaulting for a bit, seeing if they can manage to get a lucky pick or two, because that's what happened last time. Envious got one and she just went blazing, all guns blazing, going for it, and it seems like they are going to be pushing into B quite aggressively here. A lot of control. That's going to call in the rotation as well from the side of Aresta. Noxie, though, she's in this corner. She's still anchoring here, so unless they take her down, the A side is still going to be in a bit of trouble.
That's true, but there is that takedown. Now the A site might be open, and of course it does pull off some of the reinforcements coming in from Aresta. Viper's Pit into the B site now, and that's the ultimate spent. Only one player there to defend on A, and that's going to be a SMG as she comes out for that peek, takes one player down. The entire forces of both teams are kind of spread out across the map.
It is going to be the rotation, though, coming in from the side of SMG, because they do have A control. And Yoki, though, she takes a lot of damage, but peeks out at the right time, catching his Negi off guard here. 3v2 right now, and this is the thing. The Viper's Pit has already been committed, so it can't be used for a retake, and that was the right call coming in from SMG there, because the Viper is going to be stuck, so they all know that that's one less player they have to deal with, and they managed to get the spike down successfully. In the way of ultimates, there's not much available anymore for the side of Aresta, so they just have to make it work off trades and gunplay. Storm coming through. The Rosie already taking on Yoki there. Getting the second kill as well. It's all in the hands of NBS. We've seen her do 1v4s, but this 1v1 is certainly in her grasp, I would say.
Rudy's just looking for her. She goes back into it, and envious crouch sprays, goes in for that clutch play. And now SMG back on the board, 10-11. What a play by these girls.
That was insane, especially it was just very, very good read coming in from the side of SMG there, because once they managed to take down the chamber on the site was open, and once they had control and managed to get the Viper's Pit out on B, that split play really working out well for them. That was pretty easy. I think that if they could just stick to defaulting and creating some confusion in the ranks of the side of Aresta, you know, making them rotate or not rotate as the case might be, wherever it's necessary, it might be what they need here. In the meantime, it's going to be Nuki though playing aggressively, getting that first pick already, making things much more harder with that kill onto Envious.
Again, these are expensive rounds for SMG. They don't quite have the economy. It's tough to duel against them, but when you create that little bit of space, that's where you just might be able to catch Nuki off guard. Now Rosie on the other side. The spike still hovering towards the A site. SMG are just trying to give off bits of fake info. Here comes the res too, and pulls all the rotations over. But take a look at the minimap as well. These rotations aren't exactly on the B site. You've got players looking over by bottom mid.
And it seems like they do want to go for the A side, in fact, as the Viper as well is committed. The slow play coming in from SMG really enabling them to capitalize off it. Finally, it seems like they do want to go to A, but the trademark has been broken. That's going to be some information given. And it's just Izaneki here, left alone, having to anchor it down. As never mind, they're going to be going towards the B side. In fact, it's going to be Rosie who has to somehow keep this working. Noxie takes down Yoki. And it's just going to be 4v4 yet again. She's going to put down that snake bite and back off to try and play that retake.
Wow. And keep in mind, Zenki still has her Hunter Spear. She could pull it out just to deny the spike plant. It comes in a little bit late, but Rosie is on time, on cue, gets a quick double, and now we're back to a bit of a stalemate. Spike down, toxic screen up. They are poised to retake this because they're blocking off vision from SMG.
Yeah, and I don't think that Dixie does have the Hunter's Fury though. Never mind, I was wrong.
Oh, no.
Rosie though takes her down, and she's too far away. The spike has been halved here, and not much she can do. The stickers should be coming through as Rosie takes down the last player. Rosie, the hero of the round there for Aresta. She takes them to match point, holding onto the B side. Extremely well played by her. Peeking as soon as the Hunter's Fury is put up, she peeks to make sure that she catches the people coming in for the spike possibly, or trying to defend the teammate. Look at this from her. Peeks one, gets two somehow, and that's great transfer. Again, I really wish we could have seen her point of view there, but fantastically, and she almost has the Viper spit as well, just one away from her.
And this is just unfortunate because SMG are backs against the wall now. Match point for Aresta, 12-10. SMG need 2 more rounds just to push this into overtime. And they have one Spectre in their hands in the form of Envious. She's got her Blaze Storm available as well, but this is gonna be tough. Aresta pretty much in full control of the map right now. 2 players around mid, 2 players over by A. And of course, Rosie. Just anchoring down the B side like nobody's business.
Yeah, I think that was what Yoki wanted to do, but she wasn't having nearly as much luck as Rosie. But in the meantime, Envious, he manages to get one, but Rudy's is there for the trade, and it is going to be the B side taken, but at what cost? Because they are a player down. Goibi in the meantime will manage to take out Nukin. Oh, the catch from Karafanetti with that wall. Noxie takes the trade yet again. It's going to be a 2v2 right now. Player towards kitchen. Noxie just waiting to clear out these angles, making sure that her teammate is there for the backup. But they are pinched in. It's a pincer coming in from Aresta here.
At least an attempt, but unfortunately they were spotted out, and that first prong of the pincer was taken out by Kfradaddy and Kohibi. And now the spike goes down. Timer reset to about 40 seconds. Noxie with the tour de force. That thing has a high fire rate. Shoots like a Marshall, but with the damage of an op. And she's walking up front. Swaps back to the Vandal in case she needs to full auto spray. And she's looking for them. But Kohibi with the wide swing into the crouch, into the headshot. We put SMG back up once more. 11-12 now, Zach. And this could still kind of go either way.
Yeah, I mean, once you get into overtime, there's no predicting who's going to be taking it because it just goes back and forth. And I think we saw that yesterday coming in from Thirst Threads and Sovereign. We might be in a similar kind of position today. But this is the thing. It's very, very likely that we will be seeing an OT because the bank has finally been broken for us. The gift that never stopped giving finally being put to a hold here. It's going to be Nuki on that Spectre. Bulldog coming in from his Nick. He's light armor as well. It's going to be really rough. And the Viper spit, though, it might be the saving grace for the team here. For Rosie committing it early, holding on to that A site solo. It might be what they need.
Oh my god. Now Nuki with the Empress as well. I'm scared, Zach. Aresta are pulling out everything. They want this win so bad. And SMG, wanting to avoid all of that conflict, rotated all the way over into the A site. They still need to deal with this green wall, though. And Rosie is just being so annoying.
She's definitely being careful, and again, there's not much of a utility left as well from the Sova. I think that she already did commit her drone towards the B site, so there's no way they can really clear her out here unless she makes a mistake, and she is going to be peeking. Oh, she might even catch somebody on the zipline. Never mind, that's going to be the information given in, and the timing is so good for Yoki here as she stays alive somehow, but Envious finally catches her, surrounded on all sides. That is going to be the ultimate committed as well from the side of the Viper here. But Rosie and, Isnagi and Noxie, they're not letting it go anytime easily. 3v4 right now. Advantage is still in the hands of Aresta here.
Oh no!
Kohibi stays alive.
Last player standing.
Unfortunately, whiffs the flick though. And this puts Fixky in a 1v2. She lands the first headshot. 1v3, excuse me. She goes back in, now repositions. They are looking for her. Not quite sure where she is. Underneath the rafter, she covers back in towards the corner. Calls it clear with a recon bolt now. She's got no choice but to make a move. Rudy's is up above, and this could be the worst case scenario. She pushes up front, footsteps heard. Rudy's drops down and assassinates her. 13-11. Aresta push us into a map 3.
Again, 13-11. It was SMG taking it first and Aresta taking it now, and we are heading to Split where it's anybody's game right now. But what a game! What a what a play coming in from Aresta in that last round there. Up there, I thought it was gonna be OT for sure once the Viper went down, but man, Isnagi really stepped it up for her team, and Fixie, well, she was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Quite literally, there was a barrier orb in the way there. Otherwise, she might have been able to do a little bit more damage. But nevertheless, a really good game coming in from both these teams, and I genuinely have no idea how Split is going to go, though I am leaning a little bit towards Aresta making that reverse sweep going in here because it is a map where I think they've had a little bit more practice than the side of SMG.
It does seem that way. I might be inclined to agree with you, but of course, I mean, speaking of this map, like you mentioned, just so many things went so right for Aresta in that last round. Rosie with the Viper's Pit just bought enough time for her teammates to come back in to back her up, and of course, Azangi, Nuki, they were instrumental in preventing SMG from actually taking full control over the site. I mean, call it as you will, but maybe it was just a little bit too risky to cross in over from the screen's side of things.
Definitely, and it really was capitalized on by Aresta here. Look at the difference in damage. It's not really much, It's only 1.2k damage that was done, and really it shows how close this matchup was between these two teams. It could have genuinely gone either way, as could have Ascent, and it just shows how closely matched they are. And this is a huge difference because the last time these two teams faced off, SMG got a relatively easy win, a very quick 2-0 over Aresta, but man, have Aresta levels up right now. This is shaping up to be almost an anime battle.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you mentioned earlier on, anyone's game on Split. I mean, this is still such an incredibly close game. It was kind of basically almost the same on Ascent as well. Both teams with such strong potential, maybe even equal potential. Split is just such a toss-up, so we will have to kind of wait and see how the teams will play on that. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Zach, and with me here is my co-caster, Quack. Every time I say it, it's so funny. We are going to be heading into the third match for the day between Team Aresta and Team SMG, and we are heading to split. So, Quack, how are you feeling?
I am not sure. I'm very confused because both maps were so close. 13-11, Ascent, Icebox. Now we're headed into Split, a map that could be rather, I guess, defense-sided if you have the perfect positions, the perfect lineups. It could be that way. So, given how these teams have been playing thus far, they haven't been crazy overly aggressive. They haven't gone for many set plays except for perhaps SMG on Ascent, but even that didn't really work out as well as they hoped. Split is that big question mark. It's that big toss-up because either team could take it away. Like you've mentioned before, Aresta seemed to be a little bit more rehearsed on the map.
That is going to be the case. So SMG is definitely nothing to slouch at. We saw them in the first game, saw them almost pull it back from the second game, and third game, of course. They have much more in the line here, I would say, going forward. And yeah, they definitely have to try and capitalize on this to try and qualify for Elite directly, like we mentioned before. Looking at it, though, they are going to be starting off I think on defense here, if I'm not wrong. So Split is a map where, like you mentioned, all the tight corners and angles really make it a little bit easier for the defense starters here. And I think that SMG would want to try and make the most of that little bit of advantage that they have. And more than that, though, it's going to be, if you look at SMG's team composition, this is one of those maps where they, too, love running double duelists.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if it works out, like, why the heck not? But I do think Aresta, with their double duelist themselves, it's going to be something that hopefully they can use to win that many rounds. Like you mentioned, SMG are the ones that are starting out defense, which is why if they can chain that many rounds on such a possibly defender-sided map, they will be able to possibly walk away with a win, right? You end it with a what? Okay, I don't want to say 9-3. I'm kind of scared to say that. But maybe you end it with a 8-4. You know, that's like 5 more rounds on your attacking side that you need to win, and you take the map. If it's not that way, if Aresta actually wins a lot more rounds on the attack, and then they swap over on defense, if SMG doesn't find a way to play on the attack at that point, that could just be how Aresta knocks SMG out of this tournament.
Yeah, it could go either way, like you mentioned, and that's why I'm really excited to see how this matchup goes between these two teams. It might be a reverse sweep coming in from Arista because they are looking incredibly strong today. They look like a completely different team from the one I saw playing yesterday. That's the best way I can say it. And you know, it remains to be seen if they can pull it off, though, because they still have a long way to go. And even then, this is the lower bracket run. So even if they do win today, it's a very hard path for whoever does manage to pull the victory in today on this map of Split. Though, if you had to predict, Quack, who would you predict taking it away today?
I mean, I could talk about stats and talk about previous games that they've played before. I mean, actually, I looked it up. They both played Split. The most recent one against Bren, they both kind of lost. But SMG had more rounds. I'm a Singaporean person. I've been to the SMG. I'm friends with the SMG manager. I have to go for SMG because I'm gonna get axed if I don't support them. No, I'm kidding. I do think they have a really good chance because again, you got star players like Kohaibi. We've seen her antics on Raze on this map. She did it in Elite last year. She could do it again. On the other side for Aresta, they've got Noxy too, but I'm not so sure about Nuki with the Raze on this map. So my money's on SMG.
All right. Well, let's see if your predictions do pan out here. I think both teams, like we've already mentioned, do have a lot on the line, and SMG they have a bit of a rough ask for them, but they do also have the advantage here because they are going to be starting off on defense, and if they manage to get a significant lead, as we've seen a lot of teams doing on Split here during this half, it might put them in a bit of an advantage for the second because I don't know. I've seen VODs of Aresta's defense on Split, and it seems like SMG does a better job of it, I would say.
Yeah, and that's why, again, coming into this one, we can talk about past VODs all we want, I certainly hope that Aresta has done their homework as well with this map. I mean, that's how this veto played out. If I'm not wrong, this might have been, was it SMG's pick? I'm not entirely sure. But that said, again, that significant lead is what we are looking for. Whoever gets it will be poised to basically close out this map.
Yeah, I think that with that, we are going to be heading into Agent Select pretty soon. So if we look at picks for this, definitely we are going to be seeing a raise. I'm like very, very sure about it. Of course, Squivy and Noxy both preferring to go for those picks, I would say. And apart from that, it's going to be Omen who is the controller of choice. Envious again put on the Omen here. We saw her on Ascent. So it's very strange for me to see Envious on the Omen. I'll be honest here because I'm so used to seeing her on the jet that it just seems wrong somehow.
Yeah.
But definitely she's proving that she's just as good whatever agent you put her on. And for the opposite side, that seems like almost a mirror pick coming in. For once, it's going to be
Almost.
Almost, yeah. It's just going to be the Sage versus the Reyna here. Nuki not letting go of Reyna no matter what happens. I like this consistency from her.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something that gives her a bit of an advantage just because she's that much of an agent specialist. That said, though, we do have to think about how that toolkit fits the map. Reyna, seemingly versatile for all maps, but with that one caveat that she needs to find those frags in order to provide value. She's just such a pure duelist in that sense. Vixky on the Sage, on the other hand, you could argue that actually provides so much more value. I mean, the barrier orb, the slows, you can stall for days with those.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And it's not just the defense where she's useful. Like, literally, the most common execute for B main revolves around that barrier orb. And seeing
That's
that
true.
they are starting off on attack here, she might be what they need to get that little bit of an entry into base. And again, Sage is, you see her being picked less and less once her as Resurrection and the rest of her abilities were nerfed. But Split is one of those maps where she still has one of the highest pick rates you'll see. And this is exactly why, because she's so useful on either half. Not even mentioning her major abilities, which are the heal and the resurrection. Just the rest of her toolkit is so perfect for this map. But anyway, we are heading into it right now. It seems like Aresta are opting to go for a very, very quick A push. The thing is, there's both a breach and a killjoy that they have to deal with right now.
Whoa.
And
But look at Noxy.
oh no.
Unfortunately, she went in first. Her team was lagging behind thanks to, if I'm not wrong, Yoki's fault line. Now they're trapped up over by the mouth of ramps, and they're just getting picked off apart one by one. SMG takes that first win.
And in such a convincing manner too. I think they only lost one player while doing it. They managed to get almost a flawless round, and the crossfire being held was too much for the side of Aresta to deal for. And of course, you really, really don't want to go in on the pistol round against the Killjoy. Like any other round, you can afford it, but in the pistol, when you're already probably not going to be running armor because you want an upgraded pistol, you just don't want to take that much damage from a turret or even an nanoswarm.
Yeah, it's just such a good setup coming in from SMG. Nano swarms, fault lines, and Aresta are just not quite able to break past that initial defense. And look at this right now, running and gunning all the way down in towards past ramps, maybe even going through sewer. No, they're just gonna set up the alarm bot instead. Sensing that though, I mean, Aresta has no choice at this point.
I mean, they are called Team SMG, and that Runaghan exemplified why they're called that. That Nate, though, is going to take Envious out. Oh, never mind. She stays alive barely 8 HP. And, yeah, she's going to be holding down because she does have some backup of Heavy. And again, that Sage demonstrating why she's so important here. And she managed to get Envious back up to fighting HP. With that smoke, though, it's going to be Aresta stuck towards B main, and again, recalibrating, rethinking as to what they can do to try and salvage something out of this round.
I like that. Like, Vixky just comes in at the right time, saves Envious from certain death, and all of a sudden, B is bolstered. They go back in towards the middle because the wall orb has been dropped. But if you take a look at the minimap, there is a bit of a flank coming along the way. As Zangi getting that first stun, Rudy's making the trades happen, but she still has so many players to work against.
She might manage to pick up the Spectre, but nope, Kawaii is too smart for that. She is holding down the gun, and it's going to be a second round going for SMG. A little bit expensive. They did lose 2 of those Spectres, but anyway, in the bonus, they might still manage to make it work. And again, look at this push coming in through A. Absolutely no respect, I would say, going in. They just run at the players and take them down, methodically clearing it out. It is going to be a bit of a bonus. They do have the 3 Spectres remaining, as well as a Ghost and a Frenzy. Of course, a lot of utility left as well. And it seems like this map, it's Yoki who is slowly but surely shaping up to be the hero. Just one away from that Rolling Thunder. Oh.
Whoa. That's a very confident strut all the way past reps now. Just a bit of info exchange and allows for Nuki to push up front. Takes out the turret. But take a look at Garage, though. Oh my god, Zach.
Envious. Oh, this is going to be so unfortunate here if they decide to rotate towards B, because nobody might not expect Envious to be here of all places so forward. And this is the issue with running the Killjoy. You can only have so much map control unless you let them go on the lurk full time here. But oh, that beautiful Nanostorm is gonna be pushing Fixie off that angle. Thing is, she has a Bucky, so she has to really work with it, and they have Heaven control by now. Kohabi is the last barrier. She is going to hear that alarm bot go off. That's going to be a bit of information given away, and it seems like they want to work again towards this A side through mid, but the spike is late, and if it goes at the wrong time, it gets captured. It might make all the difference.
Still, though, information being given up. SMG are fully aware that these girls are positioned up over by the top of A Heaven. K4Daddy comes in at the right time. Gets the first one. Still has a little bit left in her. But unfortunately gets set out by Rosie. Noxie coming down from above now. And Kohabi can't really do all that much. Again, it's the Spectres. It's the Buckies, Zach.
I mean, you can never count a Spectre out, especially in an area like the elbow, which they will have to clear out. Because in that close tight corner, someone running it at you with the Spectre is absolutely terrifying, and I think that they might be able to capitalize that. The Satchel, though, bringing Noxie down to 1 bullet range from whatever weapon people throw at her, but they don't clear it, unfortunately, and that is going to be Envious getting those kills. Aresta, though, finally trading it out and able to get the round, but at what cost? They lost 3 of their players, and 3 of those rifles with them.
It's a good bit of damage, so now being forced to go in for half-ish buys. You got some light shields, maybe some budget weapons, and SMG are looking to find more wins in the game, honestly. I mean, 2-1 right now, and they have that like early momentum.
They do indeed, and they also have some ultimates on the board. They have
Noxie.
the Rolling Thunder from Yoki immediately available, and it seems like Aresta, they're just gonna be defaulting for a little bit right now. Seems like they want to get some mid control.
Oh, they can hear that. Noxie with the Judge, though, is what I'm afraid of. Going in for the Satchel now, instantly in towards the top of the Heaven, and whatever Fixie was trying to pull off just doesn't work out, instantly neutralized. And that's a free Phantom as well.
The thing is, I don't even think Noxie wants to pick it up. She's just gonna be able to get that. Envious tries to fall back, but isn't gonna get that trade. So again, advantage still remaining. Ivy, though, she's here for the backup. About giving you some information, and that Angel is gonna push players off. She knows that there's a Killjoy towards mid as well, so she has to make this work. A little bit of a jumpy, giving information away. And I don't know if she's aware that the Killjoy jumped down here. Ivy just watching, waiting as Spike goes down, waiting for the rest of her team to come through. Yep, that's the Rolling Thunder invested, but that fault line is faultless.
Yeah, just perfectly countered the ultimate of all things. And now they've lost that momentum. They can't go off of the Rolling Thunder anymore. In fact, they'll just drop dead to 3 of the players from Aresta, holding all the way from the top of Heaven. It was meant to work, Zach, but unfortunately completely nullified thanks to 1 fault line.
It's not even an expensive ability, it's free, but Isnegi's timing was perfect there as she managed to get, again, this entry from Noxie. It was so clean, so confident. I think she expected the Sage to be playing boost there. Definitely an excellent read, and this is the thing. Aresta, off the back of that, they have a good economy. It's going to push SMG into an eco, and more than that, they have 2 ultimates to work with if they want, so it seems like this time they want to go for an A-hit instead, as all 5 players are just going to be waiting. This time, though, it's going to be them getting the kills onto the pushing A players.
Yeah, just a little bit of a Hail Mary pass, walking, trying to find some opening frags, but Aresta were prepared. And now, with control over the site, they know that SMG aren't really anywhere close. they're going to be going forward to try to cut them off in rotations, and that's exactly what Noxie has found. Kohibi, though, able to find one frag, might just be able to retrieve a weapon. Does she expect Nuke to come up, bro? Yes, she does! Gets a quick triple! Oh my god, this is now doable.
More than doable. The thing is that there's no heal available. That's gonna pull out the lockdown as well, giving away the information where the Omen is playing. And oh, that page shows is so beautiful, but unfortunately, teleport lets them get out in time. And the thing is, the lockdown is gonna buy so much time here for the side of Aresta. Sure, it's an expensive round here. All SMG have to do is try and get some more kills, or at least keep them in sight. And yep, it's going to be the stage who knows the position of both these players, but Rosie is able to take down both of them. It's see going down, unfortunately, and Aresta take the third round, but it was an eco for SMG, and they got so much out of it. They took down 3 players, they got 2 ultimates out. I'm sorry, 1 ultimate out. It's gonna be really rough for them.
They did quite a bit, I have to say, but really, all those frags came from Kohibi alone. And that's just the potential that she has as one player. And again, that's something that Aresta could actually use against SMG, just because if they disable Kohibi, things could be different. Aresta now has that early momentum, and they are looking for even more.
Yeah, and more than the momentum, they also have 4 ultimates. They have the Empress ready as well, so Nuki, if she continues to pop up the way she's been doing it, might be very, very troublesome for SMG to deal with. That barrier orb is going to push Nuki towards mid instead, as she makes her way slowly towards Ben's here. There is an alarm bot waiting for her. She decides to peek out, and 2 players in heaven as well. Bit of noise being made by Noxie towards B heaven here, but there is no further push off of it, so yeah, Rosie though is gonna take down Kira Freddy Manika. That's the Killjoy gun, that's the A site open for grabs right now. Just a breach left to deal with, who has fallen back as well. So I'm sorry, it's taken down as well. So it's going to be A site taken down. They might even go in for a 3-person save here if they can't get a quick kill.
They just might have to. And even then, the save, or maybe even looking for exit frags, is a little bit dangerous at this point. Aresta, they're building up that bank, and if you take a look at the mini-map, Rudy's is in such a good position that SMG is probably safer for them just to completely evade these positions. Any single spot that is close to the A site is dangerous.
Yes, I think it will be much more time before we see Nuki go on the hunt again. We've seen this from her before. Aresta, they don't just want to win. They want to win in such a convincing fashion by taking down all of their adversaries here. And you can see that if you look at the minimap. Already, Nuki and Noxie making their way towards heaven, making sure they're not being pushed on, and eventually making their way into the spawn of the defenders here, trying to catch people off guard. An extremely successful round for the side of the attackers here. Aresta making it 4-2. Building up quite a lead, and this is looking very bad for SMG because their economy is in a bad spot, and if they lose too many of these rounds, it's going to be rough for them on attack.
Exactly. We talked about this. We're looking for that early lead on the first half, and right now Aresta are very much the ones in that driver's seat. SMG, I don't know what it is, but they are going to have to find a way to adjust around it.
They are going to be able to buy again, but the economy is so close to being broken for SMG right now. They lose one, they're going to be right back into an eco. And this is off the back of 3 weapons being saved, by the way. They didn't manage to hold on to those 3 rifles and the full armor, but nevertheless, it's still looking very rough right now. Envious watching B-main very aggressively, and I really like this, that they realize that it's extremely dangerous to go into B-main alone, and they're just going to wait, default, play patiently, wait for the push, because they know that SMG is very likely to push right now from any kind of angle. But SMG, they seem to have learned their lesson. They're just waiting as well. Both these teams capitalizing, holding for that first mistake.
Just so much discipline right now, but of course, with so much time passed, SMG is trying to go in for a little bit more map control now. Blocking off Garage, preventing any further pushes down the middle. They should be able to tell something headed towards A main, but given their defensive positions, no info collected thus far allows for Noxie to slip the net and all the way towards the back of sight. Kfredadi just narrowly making it away with her life. Unfortunately now blocked off and stuck in elbow. She goes back into duel against Noxie, goes back to duel against Rosie, but loses to her counterpart.
Oh, that was such a sneaky play coming in because there's no information for A main, and they really managed to make them pay for that. Yoki though manages to take down Yuki there. That is going to be a 4v3 attempt at a retake right now. Advantage towards the side of Aresta yet again.
Oh
Oh,
my.
before the dark cover comes down, it's gonna be Rosie who gets the headshot. That's Fixie out of the way, and it's just two players left right now, NVS and Yoki. There is some utility left, but not much. Only the teleport is left right now. They have to try and take the site with the clock running out. The flash coming
Player
through,
standing.
and it's going to be just NVS left again, having to go for a save here. There is no such economy. They need this hero rifle.
Uh-oh.
And yep, she manages to get away with her life. Barely loses all her armor. And Rosie wants that kill. Look at them chasing this. They know they have the money. They want to break SMG so completely. Look at that hunt coming in from her.
My goodness. And it all started just because there was zero info. And you might even say zero control over the A site. Despite having two players positioned around the spot, they weren't able to do anything against Aresta from pushing up front. Noxie just really silently, stealthily made her way onto the site.
And that I think that was what, the fifth round they lost in a row. That's gonna trigger this timeout coming through from SMG that they really sorely need here. It's good timing as well because they do have a lot to work with in the way of economy here. They do have that rifle that NBS managed to save, and they also do have the showstopper as well as the lockdown available. Perhaps it might be better for them if they actually try to go in for a full-on retake, especially considering all the utility available for us. That they also have their lockdown and the Breach Ultimate, the Rolling Thunder yet again. So definitely, if they bank on Aresta committing these four, gaining control of a site, the retake will be much easier.
Potentially, but then again, this is just a tough spot overall for SMG to be in. Despite the economy, despite the ultimates, 2-5 is not a great score when you're starting out on the defensive side. It's starting to look like a Restless game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, SMG has to do some kind of emergency triad to stop this bleeding right now because it seems like so far they are just not able to find the flow between the team. Initial disadvantages really forcing them to pushing them into horrible corners here. And it seems like again Aresta want to go for this lead push right now. That's the Rolling Thunder committed. Nanoswarm's doing a little bit of damage here, but it might not be enough. And oh, Pixie actually managed to take one with that stinger. Not a weapon you see very often, but
Oh!
That's an excellent shot from Carefredi. Already 3v5 and disadvantage significantly towards Aresta here, especially with that spike stuck in the back of sight.
What on earth? A Stinger and a Sheriff. Who would have thought? And now Kohibi coming in from heaven. She's spraying them down, and they're basically trapped towards the back of sight right now. The Showstopper comes in and explodes all over the site. Two players instantly dead. Of course, with the assistance of her teammate as well. 3-5 now, and that one timeout put SMG back on the board.
It was a really good one as well. They really capitalized off the utility. Really good reads coming in from them, and it might be what they need to break the dam that Aresta has been building steadily up so far. Less like a dam, more like an overflow, because that's what they've been doing. They're just swarming the site, and that play from coming in from Pixie, who just, I don't know how she did. She just jumped out of heaven swinging with the stinger and somehow gets a double headshot. Insane.
Right? Stinger of all things. It was such a quick burst as well. But now, back to her regular position. Knows that they're pushing in from the middle, but unfortunately a slight peek. And Nuki perfectly capitalizes off of it. This one frag now could lead to so much more. They have the option to go through ropes to A. They have the option to take B heaven. And that is just terrifying for SMG to defend against.
Oh, but Kohibi, she might be able to get a little bit of early information with that boombot here. But it's gonna spot our teammate, and it's gonna be Yoki, in fact, who manages to catch the spike here. Stuck in between a rock and a hard place. And Nuki already on a 3K, absolutely popping off here. Spike side open as well, and she is on the hunt for these kills here. Here's the TP from NBS. The flash coming through will in fact blind her own teammate. And never mind, Noxie's like, no ace for you, my friends. It's just Carefredi left alone in a 1v4.
Well, despite that, she's still moving up front. Going into clear out ramps. But that's it. It just doesn't look doable. It doesn't look possible for SMG right now.
Yeah,
A Heaven, 2 players on the other side.
Oh no, she spots one, tries to get the kill, but the double peek is too strong, and Nuki's 4K is gonna close it out 6-3 for Aresta here. Looking incredibly strong on split, and I join you in your worrying about SMB's chances here. It does not look very good, Buck.
Definitely not. Again, this is their last chance. We're into map number 3 right now, and if SMG gets knocked out by Aresta, they'll have to join every single other team in that fight for that wild card slot. So into this one again, 3-6, and SMG don't have the best guns. They had that setup on B before, but I don't think it's gonna happen again.
Definitely making things rougher here, and Koibi is gonna be the first point of contact. They made some changes here. Koibi managed to take down Yuki. They're like, yeah, you know, we're not leaving our stage alone this time. She gets 2, in fact, so she gets the headshot onto Iznegi. Koibi is exactly what you said, finally being in a position to really capitalize and get those first picks rather than being put on the back foot. She tries to go for the retake here. Pixie as well, taking down Noxy. Finally, SMG pulling things back towards their favor.
And this is just because Koibi got the opening duels and Fiski up over by ramps. Somehow Aresta trying to play that slow pace, walk themselves right into the crosshairs of SMG. Something that definitely wasn't quite what they expected. And now, blocking off dark cover, Rosie is being forced to turn tail and run up over into her sewers. SMG has basically full control over the entire map right now.
Yeah, they're everywhere, and even if they want to go towards B in this 2v5, they have to contend with Killjoy still playing there. 1v5 right now for Rudy's. Alarm Boot's waiting to give away a position. Third that does it instead, and that's going to be a flawless for SMG. Really a round that they needed, and I like how these rounds are going. They're not very close anymore. It's either like close to a flawless, or it's just you know, everybody from the opposite side getting an almost flawless. SMG, though, this is the game changer here. The fact that they switched around these positions and Koibi was in a position to really get those first picks. That's what really enables them. And I hope they continue to do that.
Yeah, again, it's that star power that saves SMG. Koibi 9-6-2, but on the other side, it's Rosie of all players who's up with the 11-6-2. Both top fragging for their respective teams, but it's Koibi who's right now looking to stifle whatever advances Aresta throws their way.
I'm very intrigued at how come this Killjoy lockdown hasn't been invested at all from either team so far. There's just been no chance for them to go for a retake, I guess. And it seems like they want to go towards E Heaven here. Fault line buying a little bit more time along with the Nanostorm. They know that the Killjoy is here right now. And yeah, that's going to be finally locked and invested in a really interesting place as well. It's going to be A, in fact, where it goes down. But Koibi, she's waiting for it. And that's going to break it, in fact. Oh no, before Rudy's could from the shadows out of there, she gets caught by the nade. Gets the lockdown as well, 2 for 1. And it's Koibi still holding down the fort, but Envious is there to back her up.
Last player standing.
Of course, here come the trades. Envious and then Fixski, and this favors SMG. They hold on to it, making sure that Rosie doesn't really get her free choice at pushing upwards. She spots the barrel, but that just could be a little bit of a bait. She still turns and checks the corner, finds Fixki, gets Yoki, turns back around, and she gets the third one, a 1v3 clutch from Rosie.
Last round.
That was
before the
so
switch.
incredibly well played by Rosie there. Like, she spots the barrel but doesn't go in for the wall bang, and she actually clears that corner. Like, she knows that the reason why the Breach is playing there is because somebody else is already watching Heaven. And it was so clean coming in from her. The worst part is it was really, really unfortunate for Carefree because she didn't manage to get the shot. She gives away her position, and that's it. For what looked like a round that was easily in the back for SMG, just got turned around on its tail, and this is really bad because it lets Aresta you know, even make their advantage even better. And Koibi on the operator, she's just gonna be caught down mid here.
Well, forced to tank the damage coming in from the Boombot. She's pulling out the big guns, but unfortunately does not have the opportunity to use them just yet. She's still positioned up over by A Heaven, though. Might be able to do something with that. But that said, pushing out of dark cover. Aresta just completely executes the two players from SMG on the site. Here comes the lockdown that you were talking about from before, though, but unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to be able to do all that much as Aresta continues to push up front. Look at Noxy.
The thing is that these players are really low. Rosie is not looking very healthy, and they also have the resurrection from Pixie here. It might be what they need, and if Kohibi is back in the game, it's gonna come just down to Rudy's, and she knows exactly where she is. The party time indeed as they close out the half 5-7. Very nice actually, because it was, what was it, 5-2? They finally managed to make it to 5-7 in their in Aresta's favor still, but it's credible.
Switching
What a way to finish off the first half with fireworks from Kohibi, the res, and then those frags. It's not a bad start. Not the greatest, but not the worst either. 5-7, and SMG still could find some semblance of hope going into the next half. But that said, though, Aresta has been performing. I mean, Rosie with that 1v3 clutch was just magical. If she does the same thing again, when they play on the defense, I don't know. It's going to be tough for SMG, if I'm being honest.
I mean, it's very likely. She is playing that Killjoy, so you really don't want to fight a Killjoy who's activated on the side. And Rosie, she shows every sign of being that Killjoy here. So it is going to be... however, there is a little bit of hope for SMG here because they have that Sage in their pocket. But not really a pocket Sage because she's doing a great job here. Either way, though, you know, when you're on defense, it's gonna be a little bit harder for Aresta to establish that mid control because all the utility that a Sage brings for them, they don't have it anymore. They don't have Nuki though, so you never know.
That's true. You trade a bit of that stalling defensive power for an incredibly strong duelist such as Nuki on her arena. So it's again that bit of a toss-up. If Nuki can't play to the best of her potential with those frags, with the Leers, maybe able to hold off mid, maybe able to create havoc on other sides of the map, like B Garage, for example, they just might be able to throw SMG off their game and maybe steal a win that way. So that's why it's incredibly important that SMG really finds a way to adapt and adapt quickly against whatever Aresta might throw at them.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen them do that before. We saw it on Icebox, we saw it in Ascent, and they're a team that definitely, you know, whenever they do take a timeout, they really, really manage to capitalize on it. So that kind of quick adaptation is going to be necessary. And of course, SMG, if they can get this first pistol in the bag, it is going to give them a little bit more confidence going forward because it's going to be 7-7 in that case, and definitely their life is made easier. But I think that we're ready to head into the second half of Split, so let's take it away.
Now, again, SMG swapping over to the attacking side. If they lose this, they get knocked out of the tournament. And along with that, their chances of qualifying for elite playoffs. You don't want to see that happening, but Aresta are going to do whatever they can to put themselves ahead regardless. Nuki with the Frenzy by now. That's kind of interesting. And looking at how she's positioned, Ramps is not a place that you want to contest.
She should switch it up though. She went for the ghost at the last second, so maybe she heard you back. Either way though, they are capitalizing on the Booper mid going in for it, but the Boombot is going to push Nuki, Noxy off the angle. And oh no, the predictive fire from Kohibi doesn't really do much here. In the meantime, mid has been lost though, so they do want to go for that B split instead. Spike making its way back towards the B side. Aftershock buying a little bit of time, but nevertheless, they just run through it, in fact. So the counter Aftershock is going to keep the Heaven players from peeking. The CT has been smoked off as well, so the B side has been taken almost bloodlessly, I would say. Never mind, Noxy gets one through the smoke, and it's going to be a 4v5 in favor of Aresta, as the Spike should go down any second.
That said, though, take a look at the health bars on Aresta's side.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 3 of them are actually, like, just about halfway, and that is something that could still allow for SMG to pick up a win. All the girls now just hiding on the site, hiding up around Garage.
Oh,
but
no.
Unfortunately, they got blinded by that paranoia. Envious sends one out of her own, and it does connect. and just buys a little bit more time. Noxie coming in from the back of the pillars, though, gets traded, and we're going down back to that 1vx scenario. Rudy's not quite able to clutch it out alone with a pistol. And it's going to be Fixkey that wins that pistol once more. 6-7, and SMG just could tie this back up.
Here.
That was some really, really gorgeous utility usage from the side of SMG there to very, very methodically take the B side. Like, you saw them boombot mid, you saw them take heaven with the
Paint shell
aftershock.
trade.
Everything, yeah, the paint shell trade looked really fantastic. And I feel the most bad for Rosie because it's bad enough when you die to the opponent killjoy. It's even worse when you die to the killjoy's turret, and that's what happened to her.
That said, those were some really fortunate timings with the utility usage. Me pushing against the aftershock, and now K490 pushing in towards ramp. SMG are out for blood.
K490 has been really showing up today with the Sheriff. We saw her on Ascent with that 1v3 clutch, and now with this clean one-shot here. Might be really important, and mid has been cleared through as well. Again, the control coming in from the side of SMG here is fantastic, and yep, that is going to be just envious, cleaning up things through the smoke, and Ludes gets one, but how many more can she get here?
I mean, probably not that much. Still, she's going to try to do whatever she can, and here comes Yoki with the classic right click, but did you see that from Kohibi? She just B-hopped into her screen. Oh my goodness.
I mean, she did get right click for her trouble, but yeah, that looked really, really cool there coming in from her. Either way, though, it is going to be K490 who also manages to pick up that Spectre, so she might even be able to go in for a little bit of an upgraded buy, but honestly, she could just stick to the Sheriff and still do a lot of damage. The bonus for SMG right now, if they somehow win this, it's gonna put Aresta in such a bad position, and they should be doing everything they can. Koibi finally being able to use Oliver Kit in a very perfect manner aggressively as they go on this attack here. Again, the default coming through, a little bit of patience. Look at the stack towards mid though by the side. Oh,
Commendable.
oh no.
Oh. Whatever stack, whatever position, it doesn't matter if K490 is feeling good. Just the Sheriff alone, and then that's an instant headshot. Look at this. Aresta are not comfortable. Just throwing those rifles away, making sure it's out of SMG's reach. Oh, but what? A flank coming in from Garage, and then the trade from K490. Oh, and the perfect stun as well.
Oh no.
They thought they could have flanked them, but you were wrong, Aresta.
And of course, already on the 3K looking for the ace. I don't know if she bothered to pick up a rifle. Yeah, she has. But 3 kills off the Sheriff, doing an absolutely tremendous job, getting the side as well. So even if somehow the 2 players from Aresta takes down players from SMG, she still has that lockdown post one to work with as well. I don't think it's going to be possible for any kind of retake. It's just time to save and hope that perhaps next round you can do something with those hero rifles.
And that is just absurdly strong coming in from K490. Bear in mind, this was their bonus round, and through a sheer Sheriff alone, SMG were able to steal some rifles and also convert this into a round win. Now they're going hunting, of all things, and as Enki hears it, she's ready for it. She's got her teammate to back her up as well. I wonder if they're going to be able to survive this, though. Look at it, the aftershock coming in. And now Yoki from the other side of the screens. They had no idea where to look. And SMG steals yet another win. And like you said earlier on, this breaks Aresta's economy.
Yep, it buries it in fact, because they don't even get to take those hero rifles in, and this is the chance for SMG to get the lead that they desperately need to take this map, and they're looking absolutely clean right now. K490 also has that lockdown to work with. If they need anything else to help them take sight, they do want to re-establish mid control. That read coming in from them was really good because they knew that with the weapons they had, getting mid was going to be very, very rough, so they just waited instead and went for a sight. Again, though, Aresta, they don't want to let the mid go anytime soon here, as 3 players are just going to be waiting for SMG to come through.
They're waiting, holding out for that perfect push, but so are SMG. Knowing that Noxie would probably play around robes, they were waiting for that boombot. Now it's gone, and all they need to deal with is Zangi and Nuki. First player gone,
Oh no.
tries to go in for the fan to hammer, but it doesn't quite work out, and this is going to be the B site under SMG's control. Rosie, stranded, all the way on A heaven. Not much that she could do.
I think there is. Never mind. That rifle
A
can't really be
weapon?
picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can actually. It's towards mid. And unlike Aresta, SMG don't care. Like, yeah, we have 4 players. What you gonna do? You can take it if you want. And yeah, seems like Rosie. I mean, she has nothing to lose after all. She still wants to try and take it over, but it, time is ticking, and there doesn't seem to be much that she can do here.
I mean, at this point, like, do you save the rifle? Probably not. You just don't have time to go in for that. Do you want to do damage and just try to go for some exit frags? Position towards Ramen right now. She could, if they walk towards her direction, but she's just opting for the full save instead.
It's very interesting to see because it was the eco for them. Yep, she's pushing a little bit late. Here's the jump. Gets
Ooh.
one and instead gets taken down. All good. It's okay. She gets
The
2
very
points.
last second.
Yeah, she gets 2 more points on the ultimate at least. So it could be that she just still has enough money to buy as well. So it's okay. Not too much trouble.
Yeah. If anything, she died before the spike went off, and that's why they still kept that round loss bonus. She's able to buy back along with her entire team for this round. And given those ultimate points, who knows? Aresta just could be setting up for a really big coordinated retake or some even more stalls. SMG, on the other hand, though, they've been looking really good on this attacking half.
Yeah, and I like the switch of position, Nuki moving over towards ramps instead, because while mid has been a consistent point of contention between both these teams, I think that the side of Aresta, having realized that they're not able to hold it, have gone for the site holds instead. If you look at their positioning, they've let mid be covered by utility, and of course the breach, but the rest of the time they're just going to be focusing on the site here, because if they can't get the spike plant down, they still win.
Placing swarm grenade.
That's exactly true. That said, SMG are looking for whatever openings they can find because they definitely want to get that spike planted. Nuki now in the corner, getting overrun by 2 players. This is control over ramps, control over heaven for SMG.
Yeah, I think that's the A side almost taken. Just Rosie left alone right now and manages to get Kohaibi, but 24 HP left. Not much else she can do as Envious trades it out. 3v4 retake right now. The ultimate has been planted and it's going to buy even more time right now as SMG takes down even more. Noxie going down. It's all down to Rudy's. Left in a 1v4. And I think it's just going to be her trying to save the weapon, but the hunt is already on. Look at the SMG players there. If she had run the shadows, she could TP back and try to stick her defuse. That's how bad it is.
I can't believe this. Taking a look at the map veto process, the history of it at least, this actually was intentionally a decider map left by Aresta. They had the option to bend between Split and Haven, and they chose Haven instead just because, I don't know, SMG seemed to be performing a lot better. Maybe it's a little bit of PTSD given how Aresta performed against Alter Ego Celeste yesterday. So they were expecting to do a lot better. In fact, they did really well in that first half, but now SMG on the attack. They just look like they're having fun. They're going in so aggressively, double satchel, they get the spike down, and then they go hunting. This is incredible because it just looks so good for SMG.
Yeah, I think it's 5 rounds in a row now. They have the momentum and they have the confidence. And again, it's going to be a broken buy for Aresta here. And they're full buying too. It's not even like an eco. That's all they can afford and scrape by here. Again, Noxie does almost have the showstopper, one away from it, but it's not going to have a chance to get activated, I guess. Never mind, she gets 2 off the judge somehow. And still staying alive here. It's going to take her down, gets 1 more, it's all down to Sage, but the resurrection is still available. And the players are still on rotation, so I don't know, this is still a winnable round for SMG, but that was quite a play from Aresta, extremely well read. And of course, Noxie, the heroics from her, for that positioning, insane.
Like you said, the reads coming in from Aresta. I mean, they're just trying to find these different solutions to take the fight to SMG, to stem the bleeding, to prevent them from pushing up front. And in all that chaos, Rudy's was allowed to lurk in this position up over by the bottom of mid. And unfortunately, Fixkey just had no idea. He could not have expected that. Yoki might be able to get the plant down, and she does have a full kit of utility, but it still is that 2v1 scenario. She is going to need to pull off some heroics if
30
she wants to
seconds
win
left.
this round.
Spike planted.
Yeah, and the thing is that they also do have the Omen ultimate available if they want to use it for some information. I don't know if I think that she can. She might be able. Yoki might be able to hear the sound coming in from sewers here. And this is the worst part. The spike isn't even planted for her, so her timing might be really off here. If they can cross over onto site without Yoki catching the cross, it might be everything. But never mind. It's gonna be Isnagi who gets the shot instead. And finally, Aresta stopping the constant barrage from SMG, taking a round 10-8.
10-8, and that is Aresta stemming that bleed, and they are able to possibly recover. I mean, this stops SMG's momentum, and now SMG are going to have to think twice if they actually want to push that aggressively up front into positions like ramp, maybe even garage, for example. I mean, that one judge from Noxy was surprisingly able to do all that much, and if we take a look at the screen right now, 5 ultimates online on the side of Aresta. And Noxy is buying up the judge again.
Like you said, why fix what isn't broken, right? And Noxy, she has its showstopper as well if she wants to really use it. She's going to be playing towards the vent, so definitely an area where she can capitalize. And like, the read from Aresta, they know that they wanted to hit the A side. It's going to be Kohaimi though who bombs the showstopper here, alongside the rest of it, and she gets 2 from it. In fact, she gets stunned by her own reach, but it doesn't matter. It is going to be a 3v5 right off the bat. Noxy trying to clear out lane. Doesn't spot anybody here. Never mind. She spots Kirkland, but she's too far away. Just is Negi left right now. Does have the rolling thunder, but wouldn't matter because Envious just gets it. And flawless 11-8. So close to match point. So close to victory that they can almost taste it. SMG, they want it and they want it hard.
That is ridiculous. Look at this. Oh my goodness. So calculated. So planned. The rolling thunder, and then the perfectly timed showstopper just to follow up on it. And now Aresta probably calling out this time out just to try to fix whatever they can. I'm not sure if it's a little bit too late though, because their economy in shambles. They lose this round, it's match point. They started off the first half so well, but now SMG on the offense is just so good.
Yeah, they're definitely giving them a run for the money here. More than that, in fact, with SMG, they are close to closing it out. And again, look at the economy for Aresta. It's broken. Sure, they do have 5 ultimates, and that's definitely nothing to scoff at, but it's looking really rough right now. They have to win this next round to have a chance of staying in it, and the ultimates might be exactly what they need. If they can save them to mount a successful retake or get an initial pick off the map off the side of SMG, it might help them out. But so unless they, manage it properly, it's looking really rough.
It really is, isn't it? I just need to grab some sandpaper or something to smooth it out, but I don't know if Aresta has that. I mean, you're talking about them wanting to manage how SMG attacks, but they have the ultimates, they don't have the guns. This just might not be the best round for them to pull off such heroics, and even Noxy with the showstopper only able to get 1. Kohaimi is just a little bit too smooth to get onto the site just as. And now Nuki coming in from ramp as well. She's been given up. The rest of them with the sheriffs not quite able to do that much. For long. Nuki's gonna drop, and there it is. Match point now for SMG.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good. 12-8 and Aresta. They are in the dumps right now. They have a broken economy. They already used some of their ultimates, so the showstopper coming through. It did manage to take down Yoki, but it might not be enough here. They do have 4 less, so you can never count them out. They are still able to somehow get those rifles, except with like light armor and a little bit of other adjustments. But see, SMG, they look like they're looking to finish this out as they go towards that B hit.
Haven't really seen them go with the quick execute onto B just yet. This might catch Aresta off guard. The boombot definitely gives it away, and they're looking to slow it down. Rudy's waiting, trying to connect and track, but unfortunately it does not go through. This could be it, Zach.
How does Kohaimi still get that kill? It's gonna be the defender lockdown finally coming through, and Nuki getting a kill, but that slow orb keeps her from getting away, and Envious gets that, and the TV will keep her alive, getting a second as well. So the Killjoy lockdown, enabling them to get onto site here. But oh, it's gonna be Yoki who gets caught mid-stun with that 2v2 right now. The spike is dropped as well. And yeah, it's looking pretty promising for Aresta to take it away. They know the position of one player, but they didn't know where the Killjoy is. 1v1 Envious, the clutcher of so many rounds for her team. Will get yet another 3-kill. SMG will take this 2-1, moving on to the lower bracket. What a game!
And it's just SMG looking so unstoppable with those entries. This is the Kohibi that we wanted to see. This is the Kohibi that we are so used to seeing and loving. With the double satchel, she flies onto sites, like literally on top of other players. Kind of like Goomba stomping on them with her Phantom or a Judge or anything. And just like that, I mean, even the micro plays towards that last 2v2, Envious from the top, just going for some blind shots, drawing attention away from Kphrodite, allowing her to push up from behind that wall as well. It just shows that SMG, you know, maybe despite losing rounds on the defensive half, on the attack, they are still such a formidable team.
Yeah, and we definitely saw that coming in from Kohibi. She seems to be struggling just a bit on defense, but once they let her loose, they're like, I think the ideal would have been like, Kohibi, go kill! And that's exactly what she proceeds to do. MVP for the team. But that's the thing, Kohibi might have been the star there on the race, but everybody else was stepping in exactly when they were needed. Kphrodite with the Sheriff, Envious with that last round clutch, and of course the utility coming in from Fixkey and Yoki were both so pivotal for SMG to be able to take this home. Of course, Rosie was the one who stepped up this map. Last map we saw her delay long enough with the Viper Spit for her team to take it 13-11, but this time she just wasn't strong enough, and it is going to be Aresta who we have to say goodbye to for this open 4. But SMG we will be seeing more of as we head into the next games coming in tomorrow and the after.
That's right. SMG off with this win. They get to heave a sigh of relief, as you might say, as they continue to move forward in the lower brackets, potentially gaining even more circuit points for their leaderboards. They might just be able to steal enough. I think if they can get it to about like top 3, they should be able to catch up to X10C, maybe make it to top 3, and that way they will be able to secure their slot in towards VCT Game Changers APAC Elite. Of course, though, Aresta, you know, that might be it, but it was such a strong showing. We'd love to see more of that from Rosie, Nuki, Noxie, and all of them. I mean, who knows? We'll be seeing more of them in Wildcard, to say the least.
Yeah, wildcard, or even I think overtime is up next, right? Either of them we are going to be having them possibly come in, because if I'm not wrong, it's the top 19 teams, points wise, who get a shot to play in overtime, and Aresta's definitely in that caliber. So yeah, we will definitely be seeing more of them, and I'm very excited to give them another shot because, you know, they almost beat SMG, but SMG, they will keep their record 2-0 right now, but Aresta's improvement is absolutely significant. Anyway, though, if we're not done for the day, we do have the second match coming up, which is going to be an absolute banger, if I might say so. Upper bracket, it's going to be Alter Ego Celeste versus Bren Victress, so stay tuned.